Welcome to the 86th episode of the Nerdom and Other Nonsense anime podcast. Today, we are covering the 10th week of the winter 2019 anime season. As always, we include timestamps in the description of the YouTube video and podcast feed if you only want to hear about one or two specific shows, since we're going to spoil a lot of shit. My name is Bcom, and I keep having this recurring dream where I'm born with no limbs.
Oh, shit.
But I have this really attractive stepsister that takes care of me, and she lets me touch her Kemurikusa. Also with me are Kat and Leo.
You're a dirty, dirty man, Leo. Dirty.
Let me touch your memory leaf, One-chan.
Let me touch your special place.
Oh, God. Now you know why I reacted before we started. You said, I didn't even read this yet, but I'm going to just roll with it. I was like, oh, shit.
That was like better than I thought it would be. It was all right.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. That was good stuff.
I'm going to catch my breath again.
How you guys doing? What nonsense have you guys gotten up to?
Well, okay, no, Leo has to go first.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess my note is just vague enough to get your attention. But remember,
No, when you tell me trachea, okay, no, you're going to have to tell. Just go.
When we watched Jojo last episode, you asked me if it's true that you can breathe like that, with the pin in the neck. Okay, yeah, no, it's a total... It's a 100%, it's called a tracheotomy. And it's just where they cut an opening into your trachea, which is your windpipe. And it's sort of tube so you can breathe. And I told you about the guy at work who I had never asked him about it before, but I was pretty sure that's what that scar was. And I did ask him about it, and I wasn't rude about it. And he was actually kind of got sort of excited to tell me the story. And there's a good reason why. So yes, he did have a tracheotomy because he had complications from a surgery, and he was having surgery because he was 14 years old and he had a tumor on the back of his brain.
Whoa.
Yeah. So and he said there was like lots of other complications because of, that's a pretty big deal. But I was like, so did they actually have to? I goes, oh yeah, they had to remove my skull to get to it and everything. He's like, I only got lucky in one aspect because it was on the outside of the brain, because sometimes it can be kind of deep down in there. So he said it was fairly easy for him to get it all out of there.
Oh, shit.
So that's why he had that tracheotomy during that procedure. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, that's
14
nuts.
And being 14, Jesus.
Yeah, it's so early for that to happen, but hey, it happens.
Does he get to make the joke about do you want to know how I have the scar?
No. Yeah, I don't think he's never brought it up or anything like that. No, but it's interesting because I think he's totally fully functional human being, but he's always just kind of been a little bit slow, but totally capable of doing everything I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might have stemmed from it a little bit, but other than that, he's cool, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my story.
Know. You never know what fucking people have been through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People surprise you.
All right, Kat, you want to go next or me?
You can go ahead, Bcom.
All right, so I finished the video game Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I wanted to give up so many different times. That game is really, really, really hard at specific points, especially before you have really upgraded, because the only way you get stronger is by defeating bosses, or at least the main way you get really strong. And so if you can't get by certain bosses, big ones, especially midway through the game, you're just screwed and you can't get any better. And so it took a while to really connect with the game and understand it's kind of a rhythm game more than anything, because instead of notes flying at the screen, it's basically people trying to hit you with attacks and you want to parry them in time. So it's really a rhythm game when it all comes down to it. And so once I kind of clicked with that and realized how powerful parrying attacks was with the rhythm of the game, it just clicked in my head, and I flew through the rest of the game basically.
Because you busted out your floor dance pad and just mapped the buttons to it.
Played it with a DDR dance pad, hot wired it to my Xbox One. That'd be pretty sweet, actually. I'd love to see somebody actually do that. I think that's probably a Twitch stream already.
Do you have an Xbox One or a One X?
One X, yeah.
Okay.
I could hook up Rock Band drum set. See, but yeah, that's like a legitimate way to play the game. Also, musical thing I did was I watched Bohemian Rhapsody finally.
Okay, like I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, the Queen like biopic / movie. That was really good. Really, really good movie. I see why it won like best editing at the Oscars. They make really good use of that music, and I learned a lot about Freddie Mercury that I didn't know. The movie definitely takes a bunch of artistic license with like the time, like I don't know, the timeline of his life and when things happened. And some people took a lot of issue with that, but it makes for like a really dramatic finish to that movie. I would definitely recommend watching that because like I watched the movie and then immediately went and watched like the live video of some of the concerts that they covered in the movie on YouTube and was like, damn, this is freaking amazing. Just great performances.
Staying on that kick, The Dirt has been out for a while on Netflix, and that's the Motley Crue one. And you guys need to watch that, and then like maybe on Radicals we sit down and talk about that, because I can tell you the stuff that they left out from the book or kind of dimmed down on, and things they actually pretty much just went word for word on. Because like in that one, they do a side by side of the concerts, and they're like they're exactly the same. That's towards the end, but like Ozzy Osbourne's in it, and that scene is 100% exactly what they'd said in the book, and it is super messed up. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Just go watch The Dirt. It is amazing.
Wasn't there like a tour where Motley Crue toured with a bunch of other bands, and like they all got so high that someone like snorted a row of ants on the ground?
That was Ozzy.
That's what I thought, and I was like, that's not okay.
There's even more. He gets maybe a little bit worse after that, but I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody.
No, yeah, I just remember listening to my friend explain that like excitedly to me, like, and he knelt on the ground and he snorted a line of ants, and I was like, this is exciting. How?
It's so funny. Like you watch this and like you could almost say this is all so much like edge, and you just no, they were just absolute savages and so out of their mind on drugs that just like nothing was impossible to them.
Like they all just wanted to be blitzed out of their mind until the day they died.
A couple of them did die a couple times. Yeah, no, that's legit.
Yeah, no, they weren't fucking around. They weren't trying to be edgy. They just wanted to basically just be high until they weren't.
No, but I'd love to discuss that sometime. But then also I just want to say Borderlands 3 got announced. It's coming out September 10th, something like that.
Yeah, Epic Game Store exclusive on PC.
Early September. Yeah, and that's so much hype for that. Except for Kotaku, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah, Kotaku's always got to spoil everything. Actually, Kotaku wrote an amazing story about the development of Anthem and how it went wrong this week. So Kotaku's okay in my book right now. They're doing pretty good.
They gave me a bad article and they gave me a good article. Damn it.
I also will say, Leo, Ichigo Fields from the Discord, she told me to watch The Dirt when I was like raving about Bohemian Rhapsody also, because she loves that movie too and that book. So yeah, you could definitely talk about it with her if you ever want to hit her up.
I have to hit her up then, because I loved the book and I watched the movie twice already.
Yeah.
What about
Kat,
you,
what's
Kat?
up for you? Yeah,
you got news?
Okay, first of all, I heard today that they're making a live-action Cowboy Bebop announced by Netflix.
So I had known that they were making it, but today they announced casting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they I need to get I feel like I had this wonderful article that had like every single one of the people cast in it.
Well, I know John Cho is playing Spike, who is like from Harold and Kumar.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know about that casting. That one's I really need to sit down and like do a deep dive in my own brain if I like that or not.
I think I actually really liked that, because I've seen him in some roles since then, and he's good at playing like a dramatic character too. But what people forget about Spike is that he's just goofy as shit half the time. And like half the time Cowboy Bebop is like a comedy series, like really. Yeah. And then the other half, it's like this super serious dramatic action. So you kind of need somebody who can do both, and I think he'll be good.
My other concern.
Is hot, so
okay.
It'll be fine.
So
also, they've got. Okay, I've got the whole list now. Mustafa Shakir as Jet.
That guy looks like a perfect Jet. Like I couldn't
he
cast
could totally
that
pull
better.
it off. Yeah.
Daniela Pineda as Faye, which she's hot as fuck.
Yeah, she's hot.
I'd bang her.
I will say, like, I immediately Google image searched her, and I was like,
Me too. Me too.
all right, she's hot.
I was immediately I wish there was a porn of her.
That was one of the things about like whoever's going to get cast as Faye. I was like, they need to be a little bit of like maybe a sex symbol or somebody they can really sex up. And when I found out it was her, I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Look at
she's
her
great.
eyes. Look, she looks like she may be drunk or just really sexy.
Or both.
Alex Hassel is Vicious.
That guy looks like he could play Vicious, yeah.
Yeah. I think they've got it down, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was just say they just haven't cast anyone for Ed yet, and then I saw like Icy Rose from Twitter and Discord talking about how like maybe they'll just drop Ed from the series, which I thought about it and I was like, maybe that's a choice that they'll make because like Ed is such a weird freaking character, and like it would be really hard to translate Ed to like a live action series. So I wonder if they'll just cower on Ed and just like, say like, all right, we're not doing Ed. We'll do everything else. But maybe, I don't know.
Man, now
maybe
that
they're
you
just
think
still finding somebody.
That could be a possibility.
It's possible, but
okay,
maybe they're just waiting.
This is Ein going to be a real dog or CGI?
I really want it to be a real dog.
I think it'll be cuter if it's a real dog.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, also I saw this article the other day about the One Punch Man's challenge, and immediately I started talking with a couple of my friends about it and how crazy it is. Have you seen like the guy who recently did this? And he went from looking like pudgy to like a bodybuilder in 30 days or
I did
whatever.
not see this.
You should look this up.
I've looked it up.
Someone did it like a couple years ago, but then someone else did it like a couple weeks ago, and I think that's what's circulating so much right now. And so I talked with one of my friends about it, and he was like, yeah, we should do it together. It would be awesome. And I was like, yeah, but that would require me to run. And I don't like running. Fuck that. And then I was talking to one of my friends from college about it, and she loves to run. She's a track person. She's like avid. She tried to get me into it in college, and I was like, fuck no. And basically bailed on her. And she's like, oh, but you'd never do it because you can't stand to run and you couldn't do it for 30 days. Because it's supposed to be like you do it for 30 days and you run for like 10 kilometers a day. Oof. And then you like do all the other stuff I can do that, but like that's the hard part.
I think the running's the hardest part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, 10 kilometers is 6.2 miles. If you
oh, I know. I looked it up.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, but like listeners are probably wondering.
Yeah, it's like 6 miles. It's ridiculous. And she was like, you can't do it. You couldn't do it if you tried. And of course, like, I'm aware that she's baiting me because she knows how fucking stubborn I am. But I was like, I can so do it. I just don't want to do it. And like, we got in this big fight and she's like, oh yeah, prove it. And so now we're like betting $100 on whether or not I can do this for 30 days.
I would ask for more than $100 to do it.
Well, I think it's more about the principle of like her having to get up and be like, I was wrong, you did it, and like look me in the face and give me that money and then watch me like buy these like foo-foo drinks that she hates and like watch me drink that $100 in foo-foo drinks over the course of a night. Nice. I think it's more about that.
So you're going to get
probably buy like
in shape for the next 30 days.
Yeah, and then I'm going to drink as many watermelon margaritas as that will buy me in front of her while she makes this face like, ew.
Beautiful.
Bought all of those.
What's really funny is about this, the way Kat worded it in our conversation earlier, I was like, at work or the podcast about something. So if we can, Kat, you want to read this real quick? Because it's fucking hilarious. Oh. So just scroll back up to where I said, everybody's still good to record today. And then we can just go.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, yup! Like mini exclamation points or something.
It's too early to be that excited. Tone it down. Like funky weird face.
Yeah. Hold on, let me scroll back the fuck up.
Yeah, where was this? Oh, I'm looking. I'm scrolling.
Oh, yeah, and I was like, I'm
see
planning to make someone eat their own words. Spite makes me very awake, which it does.
I immediately go, at work or the podcast? Because I was like, what the fuck? Did I say something?
Oh, he acted like, oh, fuck, do I have to go into the witness protection program? Where the fuck do I need to hide? Is the zombie apocalypse coming?
Or did,
like, that's the way Leo
hopefully
reacted.
it was Bcom that said something. But that was a funny conversation. And then just later on, I told her, I was like, man, if you really want to go hard, bring it up on the podcast. You know, Bcom and I will give you shit if you don't do this.
Well, I think just the idea of making her watch me drink, like she's like one of those people who's so obsessed with craft beer and she only drinks beer.
Okay.
And so me drinking like fruity things in front of her, like her knowing that each of those drinks is like 300 calories and I'm drinking all of them and she paid for all of them and they're
That's
filled
awesome.
with sugar.
Oh,
it
man.
will torture her soul.
Ooh, we should get things started. That was a long intro.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, it's fine. We had fun. That's the point of it.
All right, Kat, tell us about episode 10 of Mob Psycho 100.
Okay, so it sucked ass.
It did.
So Mob Psycho second season, it was great. And then they had to go into this final boss fight, which is bad.
Yeah. My big
I
problem
don't
with
know
this
what they were
episode
thinking.
is it just felt like they were floundering around and nothing of importance happened at all. Like,
No, I could not care less about this episode. Like, okay, I think it's almost like they concocted this final boss, which is this terrorist organization filled with espers.
and he's not interesting. Like, the terrorist leader is like not an interesting
No,
boss. Like,
None of them are interesting. It doesn't make any sense. I couldn't care less about why they're doing this.
They're not even fleshed out in the slightest.
And I think that's like
and
part of the joke that they're not fleshed out, but it's just not a very interesting joke.
It's not. It's almost like they got to the end of the series. They solved this big conflict with Ray and Mob, right? And that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh, we have 4 more episodes or something. What are we going to do? Oh, let's concoct some bullshit final boss that we can get rid of easily by not fleshing them out very much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they've done, which is disappointing because Mob Psycho is a good series. Like, why are you fucking it up like this?
Basically, it's how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Boo. We boo.
Jesus.
We boo things that do this
Boo.
on this podcast. Boo. Okay. So, can you tell I've been eating chocolate covered espresso beans?
Oh my god.
I think you can.
Yes.
Oh, you love it. Okay, so basically, the dudes are in the big building. They have this stupid conversation about how the boss chose this building because he loves the omelet rice that they serve there because it's made with 4 eggs or some bullshit.
This is
And
a
I'm just
recurring joke from like the last episode too, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think
Yeah.
I remember that. And I was just thinking, like, is there some poor employee that's stuck in this building that's like terrified in the corner of the kitchen making omelet rice for these people? Like,
Yeah, maybe.
that poor person. And then like at some point an anti-terrorist squad comes and they're like, you better get out of that building, Sonnies, because like we're coming in. And the espers are like, well, try it, and like whoop their butt basically.
Mhm.
While Ray and some of the espers that are on like Mob's side kind of hang out and watch this occur. And Ray gets a call from his insurance that like apparently his office building is not going to be covered.
Yeah.
And then Ray is pissed and he's like, we're going to fight. and they all are like, oh, okay, we're going to follow you for some reason, which makes no sense because you're not an Esper, but whatever.
He's like, I'm going
And-
to drag the arsonist over to the insurance office and prove that they did this so the insurance
Yeah.
will cover it. That was like the one funny thing of this episode. I don't know.
I mean, it's relatable as an adult. Like, fucking, you pay all this money for insurance. It never covers you when you actually need it.
Yeah.
It's all a scam. That's what you find out when you're an adult. Everything's a scam.
I will say car
Anyway.
insurance has covered my ass a couple times. Like, car insurance is good to get, but some other insurance is BS.
Yeah. It's all, everything is a fight
Yeah.
when you're an adult. Stay a child as long as possible. Hide in your basement. When you this is terrible advice.
That's such inspiring words from
All
Kat.
you teenagers, Don't go out there. Don't go to college.
Mooch off your
Hide
parents
in
as
your
long as
mother's
possible.
basement. Don't just trust us. It's not good when you finally have to go out there.
Apparently, you can be very successful from your mother's basement on YouTube talking about anime.
Da-da-da. Yeah. Anyway, so Ray and the gang are like, let's go fight someone. They come across this plant dude. They start trying to fight him. Another group of them like float a bunch of police cars in the air, and I couldn't really figure out why. I guess it's a distraction.
Yeah, it was a distraction.
And I'm like, this is dumb. And then there's like this guy in an African robe that's drawn really strangely, and he just appears in the building with everyone and is like, I can help you. And I'm like, have they introduced this man? Who is this man?
I don't even remember this happening.
Why is he in the building? Why is he helping them? What?
I don't know.
And the rest of them are like, okay, and he helps them. And there's no introduction of like who he is or what his name is. Just African robe guy comes to save the day, I guess.
What a guy.
You gotta at least tell me who people fucking are. Like,
I mean, maybe they did last episode, maybe, but like they introduced so many people at once that it would be easy to miss. So I don't know.
You know, a nuclear explosion could happen in this show right now, and everyone could die, and I just would not care that much. And that says something about how much they fucked up this show with these couple episodes. It's just chaos. So Ray decides he's going to take on the psychics by himself, slings unconscious Mob over his shoulder at some point, and takes some like knockout spray of some sort. I don't know what's in that.
It was,
I don't know.
He got it from one of the other guys in Scar or whatever, and
it has to be illegal. It's like
yeah, it makes them
like
really
a date rape in a pepper spray can, basically.
Pretty
date rape
much.
Drugs in a pepper spray can. And he just sprays a bunch of them and they all pass out. And he's like, that's how you get things done, because I'm Ray.
Well, Ray does feel like the kind of guy I think would have a spare bottle of chloroform in his
of date rape
or something.
In his
for special occasions.
Oh, yeah. And so then the one guy like wakes back up though, because he's too big and hulky for that to affect him. And Ray's like, oh shit. And this Hulk dude, and I'm gonna refer to him as Hulk dude because in my opinion he looks like the Hulk.
Yeah, I mean like big purple Hulk or red and purple lips Hulk. Yeah,
purple Hulk.
He showed up in the wrong anime. He was supposed to be in Jojo.
Or the one we covered with Time Stopped.
Oh, Kokoku.
Kokoku.
Yep.
The guy from Kokoku escaped, and he went into this anime now. Apparently, so he like goes to punch Mob, this Hulk guy, and Mob goes into what I call hopping zombie mode. Because don't you think when Mob gets possessed by Dimple, he looks like one of those hopping zombies, like one of those Chinese hopping zombies,
like vampire zombies. Yeah, for sure.
He kind of does, because they have all that like weird makeup that they do.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to look hopping zombie up.
Or like
if
hopping.
someone
I think it's
listening
hopping
doesn't
vampire,
know what we're talking about, or hopping vampire,
Chinese hopping vampire.
You just type in like Chinese hopping vampire into a search engine. Like it's got this weird makeup. I don't know where that superstition came from, but
China probably.
It's well, yeah, but like
it's from like, Chinese legends and folklore. So there you go.
Well, but like, who decided that they have to all have makeup like that? Who decided that they have to hop? Who decided that they all wear that costume? These are things that keep me up at night.
And this is where one comes bursting through your door, and they're like, "It was me,
the Kool-Aid Man."
Oh yeah,
All right, continue.
But yeah. So Dimple runs off with Mob's body. They have this flash of the improvement club just jogging through this chaos for some reason.
Fight between them and the muscle guy was actually fairly decent.
Yeah, that was like the best part of the episode. For
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess the improvement club decides like, oh, there's a giant Esper fight happening in the middle of the city. we're on our run, our daily run. Let's just run right through it. That seems safe. And so they start doing that. And at this point, it flashes to the fight again with all the espers and the different sides. And you find out this guy with the weird eyebrows, who I guess his name is Tereda. I don't really care that much about him. I don't know if we're supposed to. You find out he's a double agent. This had no effect on me. Like, they acted like this was supposed to be like a da-na moment, and you were supposed to be surprised. And I was like, I really don't care. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to do for me. You just introduced this character. So he reveals this. Everyone goes, oh, like we're supposed to be really surprised. At some point, the Hulk guy, I think he punches Mob, and he goes soaring through the air.
Yeah, he punches Dimple right out of him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they both go soaring through the air, and they land on the ground. And the guy from the Improvement Club. I keep wanting to call them the Home Improvement Club. What the fuck is wrong with me?
That you punched a dimple right out of him. It just made me think of the line from Scott Pilgrim versus the World where he's like, "Nobody makes me bleed my own blood."
I love that line. God, that movie's so good.
You made me swallow my gum.
Oh my god.
That's that and The Big Lebowski are my favorite drunk watches. I've seen them both 30 times easily a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go on.
Oh my god. So he gets thrown, and the Improvement Club catches him. The huge muscle guy is like, I'm gonna get Mob back, and basically the whole club ends up fighting this muscle guy. It looks like they're all gonna get their asses whooped. Finally, the head of the club gets possessed by Dimple and holds him off for a minute.
Yeah.
Which was epic.
Because he uses 100% of this guy's muscular strength, which is beyond what he could ever use himself. Dimple taps into all of it and takes him out.
And it works for a second, and then he has to let go of him because it was too much effort.
Well, it looks like he beat him, but then he got back up again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but then he didn't really beat him, did he?
It was more like a round one. Like he beat him. Well, this would be round 2 at this point because Ray took him out once. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically he beats him for a minute, and then he gets back up, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" And then Mob wakes up and is like, doesn't he just lift his hand in the air and the guy is down?
He basically flicks his fingers and the guy's into a wall already or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Mob is just oh, this fly.
Yeah. Mob's on another level these days.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. The show as a whole was chaotic. This episode didn't make a lot of narrative sense. You didn't really care what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why they've decided to do this. And I'm disappointed.
Can't believe they've done this.
I think at the end of the day, if you skipped this episode, you maybe wouldn't even noticed.
I would agree. I feel this is a very skippable episode. It feels
like there was no progression or anything. Oh, what's that one show that I actually did that with?
Well, that one wasn't skippable, but you skipped it anyway.
I skipped it, and it was like I missed nothing. What was that show called? I can't remember
which one it was. It was a couple seasons back.
It was a romance one. It was the 2 little kids. He played the damn drums every fucking damn episode.
Oh, Tsukigakure. That's more than a couple seasons back. That's a while ago.
You would be shitty about Tsukigakure.
Yeah, you would.
You're so passive-aggressive about
I really
some
thought
things,
that
Leo.
one was bad. Really bad.
We need to have a therapy issue where we all just come together and just talk about our feelings.
Oh my god.
Well, if you guys have anything else to say, because there's something else I want to say about that with Run and Win.
All right, yeah, well, make that transition. Have fun.
Go ahead, Leo.
It's clear to everybody, I do not like Run with the Wind, but I do know it is a good show, but I personally don't like it. So nobody else take that personally. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But if somebody's like, I like romance anime, I would not have recommended that other show. But if somebody said, oh, I like sports and I like running as a hobby, I would recommend Run with the Wind to them.
Yeah, because even if it doesn't hit with you, it might with them. Right. It's in the ballpark at least. There's a shot that they'll like it.
I just want people to realize that. That some people hate it when I hate on shows, but
I think that's real progress for you, Leo, and that we need to recognize that.
Thank you, Dr. Cat.
Maybe you are a counselor, Cat, after all.
Maybe I am.
All right, so let's get started with Run with the Wind, episode 21 of 23. We're getting there. Goodbye, beautiful world. So the episode begins with a worried Yuki waking up in the middle of the night thinking about his leg of the race that's going to happen the next morning. And it's also starting like to snow overnight. And like Shindo is awake as well, and like basically tries to build up Yuki's confidence, saying like, "Hey man, as long as you try, just like with the bar exam, you'll do just fine." But he's still worried. Back at the hotel, there's this little freak out when Joji sees Hanako coming down the elevator with this older man, and he's like, "This is a hotel, Hanako." And it turns out it's just Haiji's sports doctor. But of course, then this gets like Kakeru, who's also there, like all concerned about Haiji. So they like run up to him, and Haiji's like, "Just focus on yourself and just run the best race of your life. And that's all you can do." And he's basically like, "I'm fine. I'm fine."
Did anyone else, when Hanako came down and they're like, "An older man, you're leaving a hotel," and then they're like, "No, it came from Haiji's room." Did anyone else think like a love affair between two men in a hotel room, or was that just my yaoi brain?
I thought there was like a
brain.
second of a joke there where they like freak out like about like they go to Haiji's room and they freak out and Haiji says like, "Oh no, he's just my sports doctor." Like I think there was a joke there that like, oh, maybe that guy was having an illicit love affair with Haiji.
Yeah,
there was like a secondary joke there. Yeah, I thought
it would have been better if they came in and he was like getting dressed or something.
Yeah. So at 8 a.m. in the morning, it's still snowing pretty heavily, but the race has to go on. And so Bozo Uni, it's a funny name, who finished like in first in the first half of the race, they get to like start earlier than everybody else because of that. So the first runner starts going off. And then Kansei is in absolute last place to start the day. They're in 20th out of like 20, basically. And even though they're in last place and they're like 11 minutes and 53 seconds behind the lead, because they're more than 10 minutes behind, they get to start in this group of like losers who are all more than 10 minutes behind.
Yeah. So they're like, "Oh, they just let all of us start at the same time, even though we're different times." And at first I was like, that's stupid, because what if one of them caught up?
Right.
But then I was thinking, oh, it's because no one has ever caught up from that far behind. And so they're like,
yeah,
it won't happen. Don't worry about it.
Well, you can also use that as your racing strategy. You're going to put your weakest man on the last leg of that run. So that no matter what they do, if they say they totally do bomb, then you still know you're not completely out of the race.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. But and then like Haiji quickly explains like, oh, they don't gain like a minute and 53 seconds. Like the actual finish time is still going to be determined by the time from their first day plus the time from the second day. So like if they want to win, they will have to beat the leader by like a minute and 54 seconds at the end.
Yeah, which is so unsatisfying. Yeah. Like if something amazing did ever happen, because they did have to be like, "Oh, he won," but not really, because he like didn't win by a minute and such, like
exactly. So now that opens up all these weird possibilities for the ending of the show, where it's like, oh, Haiji wins but also doesn't win because they were behind.
I mean, that would be kind of the theme of the show, though.
I guess so.
But it would suck.
Yeah, that's weird too. But like, I don't know. It's so weird now. So I'm not sure how it's going to end. I'm just like, they're throwing more things into it. And like Haiji's like, oh, it would take a bunch of tedious calculations to figure out on the fly, like where you are. And so they're going to like keep doing that over the end of these past couple episodes. So the guys are a bit worried about Yuki's fast pace on the downhill section, especially with the snow.
Oh, okay. I have something to say about that when you get to it.
Okay. They decide to like trust in him though. And Yuki is like amazed at the pace he's able to maintain going downhill and realizes that Kakeru is pretty much always running at this pace, even on flat ground. And like Yuki allows himself to like dream for a moment about running at the level that Kakeru runs at, but like basically shuts himself down saying like, no, this is like my last day running and I'm done after this. Like, this is it. And that is until he runs past his family, who it's been really well established till now that he's not on good terms with them. But he sees his mom like yelling for him at the top of her lungs, and like he can't help but like get emotional about it. And he remembers back to when his mother basically like sprung both the fact that she was getting remarried and that she was having another baby girl on him.
Well, okay. Oh, and I love how she was like, we may be getting married. Oh, and I'm pregnant. And I'm like, bitch, you know you're getting married. Don't do this bullshit of we may be getting married and I'm pregnant. You know. You know at that point. Come on.
And like, I understand why Yuki had some issues with his mom at this point.
Yeah, because it's shocking. It's shocking.
It's a lot to take like in.
I didn't get that because I don't know what his previous relationship was with his mom.
Well, before that point, well, they kind of briefly touched on it, basically. But like, I think the dad. Actually, I don't remember what happened with his like actual.
I don't know
dad.
if he died or if they were divorced. But either way, like, you should probably just let your kids gradually know when you're dating someone. Like maybe,
like, prepare them, please.
Yeah, like 6 or like at one point where you feel pretty comfortable and then it's a stable relationship. You probably just be like, drop it in casual conversation, like, I'm dating someone, and then like introduce them gradually. Don't just like have them there when they come home one day and be like, this is your new daddy.
This is your little sister in my tummy. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ.
that sounds like a different anime to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but like, he basically, it seems at the end of this race, his leg is like forgiving his mother. And
his leg is wait, what?
And he ends his leg of the race and passes the sash on to Nico.
I thought you said his leg is forgiving his mother, and I was like,
well,
did you just have a brain aneurysm?
Did you not watch it? his leg grew a mouth and just said, "Sorry, Mom."
as he was running past the family, his leg grew a mouth and was like, "I forgive you, Mama."
So he apparently ran a very fast time in that section. Like, he ran the fastest time of any of the other runners, except like losing to one person by 2 seconds. And he's like, "Oh, it's always 2 seconds, son of a bitch." But so yeah, he gained a lot for them. And so Nico's section is next.
Are you gonna talk about the bloody sneakers?
Oh, so those were bloody? I wasn't sure if that was just like a pattern on his sneakers or not.
No, they were bloody.
They were like, and he bled all the way through his sneakers. And I'm like, bullshit. Like, okay, you may have one part of your foot, I could buy that, where you start bleeding. Yeah. And it may even bleed a decent amount. But the whole of your foot is not going to just bleed as if you were walking on nails. Like, no.
I thought that was so ridiculous that I was like, oh, that can't be blood. Because it was like his whole heel and his whole front of his foot were like dyed through red. And I was like, that can't be real.
Yeah, no. Like, I would buy it if it was like, oh, his toe started bleeding and it bled. I would even buy it like it bled a lot, right? Sure. But not like his whole foot.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't know how you would even keep running through that. That's insane.
Yeah, no. That was...
Well, that's dumb.
I wanted to point that out. Even though I love this show, there are times...
It goes over the top.
Like with the training regimen and like with this, where you're like, we need to call out bullshit for what it is. But we still love it.
Sure.
We just have to keep it in check.
So I Googled image searched feet bleeding after running, and there's nothing, nowhere near that bad.
Yeah, because you wouldn't, unless you like cut your foot on glass or something, you wouldn't bleed that much. I don't know. But anyway, Nico's section is next, and I like Nico a lot, so I was like pretty hyped for this. And his whole section is all about how he's needed to overcome his body type in order to like regain his love of running. It's like a flashback to how his high school coach basically told him like to enter like a throwing event in track instead, because he just doesn't have the body for it, for long distance anyway. And so
he's got a body.
Oh yeah, he does.
But look at that body.
He lost his passion though, and he started smoking and like, yeah, I don't know. He went to college at Kansei, and he like remembers this time 4 years ago when Haiji like first showed up and told him like, yeah, I used to be a runner as well, but and then he's like, so why did you go to this shitty school? It's terrible for running. He's like, well, I'm not slow, but I am weak. And that's like referring to his injury. And like Nico's thinking about how Haiji's become so much stronger since then. That's like giving him courage. And like he's also like competing with like the runners that are alongside him in the race. Like he's using them as like a competitive edge to like keep up pace with them and get in their head. And it's like that's his way of running.
He is 100% getting something we call a runner's high.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100% is what he's experiencing. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah. And Nico's told by the coach that he's like physically in 13th place in the race, but he's actually in 16th place when you figure in like the minute and 53 seconds of added time beyond like the 10-minute thing that they started at. And so this is even after like Yuki's like bloody shoe run and all that. So Nico basically decides that he like loves running and he's going to leave all of his lingering attachments on the road. And this is like his final race. And so that's like his conclusion that he comes to as he passes the sash on to King, who is going to be running against douchebag McGee Kosuke Sakaki, who is still hell-bent on this philosophy that, like, winning is all that matters and running, and he, like, argues with Musa before the race and King. And it's like, God, just fucking give it a break already. Like, we know that's all you care about. And Musa, and like, to Musa and King's credit, they both basically tell him, like, try to have fun. Like, you get out of our face, but like, try to have fun in this race, you asshole. It's just like, say, get out of here. And apparently Nico improved their ranking, but they don't say by how much at the end there. So I'm not clear on that. And meanwhile, at the end, Kakeru sees Kazuma Fujioka, the big stud runner, warming up like before section 9. And Fujioka's like, you know, I don't have like a real goal here, so I'm going to like make my own goal. And he's like, my goal is to break the record for this section of the race. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then Kakeru gets pretty hyped up and he's like, all right, well, if you break the record, you're only going to hold it for 10 minutes because I'm going to break your record right after you break it. And so that was pretty cool. And meanwhile, at the very end, King looks like he's pushing himself too hard to try and keep up with douchebag guy. So he's getting into a little bit of trouble. But yeah, we're down to like the last 3 runners and 2 more episodes to go. So we'll have to wait and see.
I love this show.
2 things real quick. If you guys look at the thumbnails that you picked for the characters, the guy you picked for the report order, Shuji Mochizuki, he looks like he should be in Attack on Titan.
I picked that one specifically because he looks so weird. Yeah.
And okay,
I love that. Like, what was your thought process there? Because this looks weird. That one, yeah.
I'll remember this guy by that face.
Okay, one more question. Kat, you can only bang one of the guys. Who is it?
Oh, okay. You would do this to me. Fuck you. Okay. I think I would probably bang Yuki.
Wow, really?
He has like a nice look to him.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
God.
I feel like you hyped up Nico more than anybody else.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I was
I
expecting.
like Nico a lot too. He'd probably be my second choice.
Cat likes those hipsters. Look at those hipster
Yeah, I was
glasses
gonna
on
say,
Yuki.
he's like
Hot.
preppy hipster. I don't know what's going on here.
I would want him to like not talk. I'd be like, listen, you're obnoxious and you're like Sasuke and I don't like you.
You just put your finger on his lips and you're like, shh. Just don't say anything.
I do that a lot with dudes. I'm like, I don't like you. I want you to shut up so we can fuck. So that's the way I would do that with Yuki. Nico would be more fun, but Yuki's hotter.
All right, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Leo, let's get into the Kemurikusa. Let's touch that.
Kemurikusa.
Oh, wait. Okay. Leo,
Yep.
which of these Kemurikusa bitches would you fuck?
FBI.
Now,
Well, we gotta take
if
Rena's out. That's not even what I read.
Okay, because like I was gonna say, if you pick Rena, does that mean you get to fuck all of them?
That's not
a
helping
great
this case.
point, Kat, that you've just raised. Let me just imagine this for a little bit.
That's something to take into consideration.
No, I'm still taking her out. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Riku. I like her personality a lot. But
Okay.
Rio's is pretty cool too. But I don't know.
100% Ryoku, the nerdy one with the glasses for me.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
All right, tell us about episode 10, though, Leo.
derailed me there, Kat.
That's my job, don't you know?
Because I had something else to say before you asked me a damn question. I don't remember what it was. So, we just like open everybody battling some red bugs. That seems that they've been fighting for a while now, and they beat them, but they're like just completely exhausted from the fight. They end up heading inward on Island 10, and note that the red fog has done something to like the bottoms of the buildings, like it did to the mountain in Island 9. Like it was that weird grid pattern, like it'd been eaten away at it. We don't know what that is yet. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll finish this. I remember what it was. So, and they also notice that their water detecting Kemurikusa, that is like, they call it like eye chain or something. It's not detecting any water nearby. And they basically only have enough to make it back to Island 7 if they do have to turn around. Oh, no, I wanted to bring up the article that Hearts posted in our Discord.
Oh, yeah. Hearts have been all over the Kemurikusa stuff.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Did you get to see that one, Kat?
Hearts has been all over everything. And you know what? I really like that the fact that his Discord name is Hearts, because it just makes me happy whenever I say it.
Did you get to read the article, Kat?
No, because I don't like Kemurikusa fucking whatever.
It's kind of, it was something we inadvertently predicted, because like I think you brought it up. You're like, this is like a video game to me, and that's why you two like it and I don't like it.
Let me look at this.
That was our reasoning, and then the director came out and said this show is like a little bit like a video game for him.
That's awesome.
And I was just like, oh wow, we definitely picked up on that.
Kat definitely called that one.
Yeah, that was.
It totally is though. It's just basically a video game made into it,
and it was designed to be a little bit like that. So yeah,
that's cool.
Kat hates it, but she's still using her observation skills.
Yeah.
So cool. They eventually come up to like the massive cloud-like wall of red fog and can't go any further, but they're peering into the fog and they can see what looks like a crane tower to me with something blue glowing from it. And there's like also these other skyscrapers that are sticking up out of the red fog. And they decide they need to go higher just to see if they can find a way around or anything that can help. They eventually find a weathered old route and can't even decide if it was red or green once. And before they decide to climb, it's like starting to get dark, so they go ahead and like, okay, we're going to rest for the night and recoup a little bit and start again in the morning. So they're resting, and they end up drinking like the last of the water, basically preparing for this final battle. And they're taking like stock of their supplies and all that stuff, because like they can see like a very good silhouette of the red tree, so they know they're going to get to it very soon. And then like Wakaba also finally tells them that he might be able to control the tree if he touches it. And they also find out that they only have like 8 large Midori leaves left. So they're going to need to conserve them, because it might take a few to cut through the trunk if they have to do that. So comes the next day, and before Rin and Wakaba make for the red tree, they find out that Ritsu and the Rinas tricked them into thinking they were drinking their water. But actually they gave it to Midori so that they could have some extra leaves for their fight.
Aww.
Oh yeah, so but like, aren't they gonna die now?
Probably.
So like, that's dumb.
Well,
that
they
was stupid.
said they're not gonna die right away, but they have enough to like survive for the moment.
They could potentially get back to Island 7, maybe.
Yeah.
But at least that's what they tell Rin and Wakaba. But I don't think they think they're actually going to get back there.
No, this is going to end with them dramatically dying, and there's going to be stupid music in the background, and I'm going to have to sit there and watch it and try not to roll my eyes. I've noticed that
I see you clapping when Ritsu dies.
You're going to be like so
yes!
happy.
No more.
No more ears just all over the place.
Yes. So dog, I want to notice.
Kat,
I want to point out
what if there's like a scene where like her ears are like they just like droop. They just they just slowly and dramatically droop down.
I would kill someone. Oh my god!
I would cheer so much. I would be sad, but I want to
notice. I want to notice that this interview, the creator describes Wakaba as dog-like several times.
He is kind of like a friendly dog. Yeah.
He's like a dumb dog.
He's like interested in everything, and he's like friendly, and he's like always like wagging his tail.
It would have been wagging the whole fucking time.
Exactly. He's like a tail wagging guy. Yeah.
So as they walk away, Ritsu and Rina say it's a good thing they didn't know about all the red bugs behind them. They're like going to attack once they get to the tree, apparently.
Right. So they know that they're in trouble. Yeah.
So when they finally make it, so they like walk up this route that does take them to like the crane tower or whatever. And they get up there and they find out like the bluish light was coming from a bunch of blue Kemurikusa that is apparently a different shade than like the light blue ones they've been having.
Oh, really?
They're like, yeah, they go, I don't know what do these ones do. We've never come across these ones before.
I think they're like, oh, it's a different color. Or something.
And it's definitely like a way darker blue because the other one's like a very, very light blue. And then just before they heads towards the red tree that they can definitely see now, and it looks kind of pretty menacing, really. Wakaba asked one more time to see Ren's memory leaf.
But Baka, I don't want to show you my memory leaf.
Oh my god. It's like... Okay, did anyone else think that this is going to turn into a hentai at this moment? Because, like, he's touching it in different ways, and she's like, and, like, acting like it feels like, oh my god, something's happening. And I'm like, is she going to have, like, an orgasm or something?
No. Wakaba's like, I need to push harder.
Okay, so when he finally convinces her, it was some decent reasoning. Like, it's just him touching her back, and she's just shy about it. She's like,
pretty much.
Yeah.
What if sex was like a video game and you just pushed different buttons in special combinations and that's how you won?
That reminds me of
that's exactly what sex is like.
That's what sex is like. What are you talking about?
You
don't have just a controller.
You push her buttons. You push. You're the controller, Kat. You don't understand. You're the controller. I'm doing specific things to this controller. I'm pushing her buttons.
If that's how you consider sex, I feel sorry for whatever girl you've been fucking.
But there's
Leo.
all these different combos you can do, Kat.
Oh, honey.
I'm paying extra for the N64 Rumble pack.
Actually, I did have a conversation with a friend once where I was like, what if you designed a video game to, like, make it so, like, a couples video game where, like, you had to get your, like, the goal was who can get their girlfriend off fastest or something, and that's how you win, and it's like got a heart rate sensor or something.
You don't need a video game to do that.
No, but then it'd be like the video game your girlfriend wants you to play, and you'd have like girlfriends lining up.
That sounds like fucking clickbait if I've ever heard clickbait.
Oh yeah, this exists. This definitely exists. Also, the whole sex is like a weird abstract video game thing. Reminds me of the movie Demolition Man, I think, where they're in like this weird future where when they have sex, it's like through like a neural, like, I don't know, like a VR type of thing, rather than actually touching each other.
Kat, have you seen Demolition Man?
I haven't.
It's an interesting movie.
Damn it, Bcom. Bcom, you know what? She doesn't know about the seashells.
She doesn't know about the 3 seashells. No.
You don't know about the seashells.
Weird City has a scene like that, though, where, like, in the future, everyone just has, like, sexting instead of sex. And there's, like, a scene where they start getting intimate, like, they're going to have sex, and then he, like, abruptly leaves the room and starts texting her that he only wants to sext.
Oh, no, but, like, Bcom saying in Demolition Man, they're like, what's her name?
I don't remember her name. I just know that like Wesley Snipes is in it. Sylvester Stallone.
Dude, no, she's very
Dennis Leary.
She's very popular among well, at least my lesbian friends. They're like, she's one of their number one. Would love the fuck.
Oh, really?
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, damn it. She's hot. But you know, the one for me, the number one girl that I would want to fuck personally, it's that lady from Orange is the New Black. The hot girl with the tattoos.
Oh, her. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
No, but the
girl.
scene that Bcom was talking about from Demolition Man, they're like, oh, we're going to have sex now. And she gets up and she literally comes back with like some VR headsets. It's like, what the fuck? Like that, it was a little ahead of its time.
Definitely.
Oh, okay. Back to anime.
No, I'm gonna find this girl and I'm gonna tell you who this is.
Oh, that's
Find
fine.
it and I'll
Ruby
I'll
Rose.
finish this.
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose
Yeah,
is
okay.
my
I know
ideal
who she is.
woman. I would eat that up with a spoon. She is a gorgeous snack. Okay. Anyway, go on.
Leo, finish off this episode.
So he's working on the combination for the memory, Kemurikusa, and he eventually gets it. And then like Rin starts basically having a vision, like her eyes cloud over, and like she sees like a vision of a landscape. And as he unlocks more, she eventually sees a scene of a little girl sitting on a bench with like 2 white ones, and she tells them, "Yes, I'm studying, and I need to hurry up and become an adult." And it ends.
And that girl was dressed in very similar clothes to Wakaba. Like she had like this like green like sleeves on that looked like Wakaba's shirt.
I want to say she was like the same stature and everything as him. Like I totally kind of saw Wakaba when I saw her.
But I could also see that like maybe the girls had come from somebody like her too. I don't know. But like I'm so hyped for the next episode because I think we're finally going to get a bunch of answers about like all of that.
I'm kind of dreading in that next episode because I feel like we're going to get a crazy info dump and I can't leave anything out. I'm like, fuck.
That'll make it more enjoyable for me because I'll be watching it and being like, ha ha, Leo has to talk about all this.
Great.
I just can't wait for them all to die so that I don't have to watch it ever again.
Well, you know how I feel when I'm hoping one of them gets hit by a car and run with the wind.
Oh, yeah.
The final guy, is it Haiji? He's the last one. He just gets like smoked by some car, some drunk driver.
Speaking of wanting people to get hit.
Amputate his legs.
Speaking of wanting people to get hit by a car, The Promised Neverland. My favorite show. Episode 10, 13/01/46.
Which who the fuck knows what that is?
Oh, I have a theory about it like mid-episode that I want to talk about. Well, I know that it's a date, but I thought about it a lot this episode. So, like, Norman confirms that, like, he came back off of, like, the top of the wall last episode where he saw a cliff.
Yeah.
And so he walked along the wall, he tells them, and, like, he was able to see that basically the wall must be, like, the outer edge of a hexagon. Like
and I think that the other parts are, like, other farms.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's what they say.
And then, like, but directly west of them, he believes, is the headquarters of the whole, like, place. And from there should be a bridge to get across to whatever the mainland is. And, like, that's the only way to get across the huge cliff gap. And so that's what he thinks anyway. And so it turns out Norman never actually planned on running away in the first place, he says, because he was afraid.
I think that's bullshit. I think he's just saying that now.
Maybe.
It sounds better.
Yeah. He's saying that, like, if his escape was going to alter the plan for everybody else, like, he didn't want to ruin their shot. And so, like, before Emma and Ray can really protest, like, Norman, like, quickly hugs them and, like, thanks them for allowing him to live, like, a happy life, and then, like, leaves. There's this, like, long kind of sappy scene where Norman remembers getting sick when he was little, and Emma, like, keeps popping. Well, first of all, her little stupid hair that sticks up keeps
her
popping
little
up.
cowlick thing. It's pretty cute.
Keeps, like, popping up next to his bed, and she's like, ah! And basically she's trying to cheer him up back then, and Isabella tells her, like, you know, get out. And then, like, the funny thing was, like, so Isabella tells her to get out, and then Isabella puts up this danger keep out, like, yellow tape that you would see at like a police scene or something, but she puts it on the inside of the door where it's only facing Norman, and it's not on the outside of the door in the scene where they're talking on the telephone. Like, so it's like, what was the point of this tape?
Just to make him feel bad, because I think Isabella is, like, secretly a sadist.
Possibly, yeah. She definitely seems like it.
Would explain a lot.
I mean, doesn't she have that weird eager look in her eyes when, like, she sees one of them suffering?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, poor you, but, like, also kind of likes it. She's kind of fucked up.
So it's like this whole cute memory of, like, when they talked on a string telephone when they were kids, and then you see, like, Norman throw this thing into his suitcase to, like, go. And so, like, the whole orphanage gathers to, like, see Norman off. And, like, all the little kids are, like, crying and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you know, Don and Gilda and Emma are all, like, depressed as fuck. Ray's not even there because he doesn't want to see him off. He's dressed in a very 1940s era suit, which had me wondering, because I know the 46 in the titles of these episodes and on the calendars is a year, and I had been assuming it was 2046. I don't know why I assumed that. I just assumed this was like a weird dystopian future. But what if this is 1946? And that's why, like, he's using, like, a suitcase that looks like it's from then, and he's dressed like it's from them. Like, all the kids are kind of dressed in clothes that would sort of be from that time period. It would make sense.
Look at all the technology around them.
Yeah, like, well, what technology would not make, like, fit?
I can't think of any, but what would fit would be, like, her communication device.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, I think if there's demons, like you could assume that there's some technological stuff maybe different.
That's true.
I think you're right. I think it might be more interesting to make it seem as if it's
alt
1946.
History. Yeah, like this could be an alt history 1946.
Yeah. Also, you just made me realize that one day it's going to be 2046 and we're all going to hopefully be alive. Hopefully. And like that fucks with me.
Yeah, it's really weird. That. Like when you think of like, oh, I lived to 100, I would be like way into the 2000s. Like it's so weird when you start passing dates that when you were a kid were like the dates in science fiction books when like crazy things were supposed to happen. It's like 2019, like we should have like flying cars and all that shit. But yeah, it's it feels weird the older you get.
It does feel weird. Oh.
At the last. But yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, you were going to say something else, or?
Oh, the dramatic scene just as Norman's about to go is really interesting to me.
So yeah, Emma tries to like basically tackle Norman and like use the device that Ray made to disable his tracking device, but he like stops her at the last second. And at the same time, he's trying to hide that she has this device from Isabella, because if she discovers
there's no way they could have hid this. Like she would have totally seen this. The amount of passing back and forth that these people do.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Yeah. Somebody would have seen it in that room, at least, even if it's not Isabella. But Emma yells about like how she won't let him go, and Norman's like, you're reckless, but that's kind of what I love about you. He basically is about to say as he like reaches out for her face. And then like Isabella like separates them and whispers in Emma's ear, if you cause any more commotion, I will fucking kill you. And Norman says some like final kind words to Emma before he basically goes to leave. Isabella is talking to Emma later and like Isabella's walking with Norman to like the gatehouse, and she praises Norman for never running away, and this is going to allow her to like ship Ray and Emma when they're actually mature, so she's really appreciative of it. And Norman like kind of asks out of the blue if Isabella is happy, and she's like really hit hard by this.
It's the only time we've ever seen Isabella just like have a reaction like that.
Absolutely. Like she's really thrown off for a second, and then she recovers like briefly, and she's like, yeah, of course I'm happy because I got to meet someone like you, Norman. And so Isabella takes Norman, and like he looks at like this truck and he thinks he's about to be loaded onto this truck, but then she's like, no, come into this like side room and wait for a little bit. And it's like this bright room underneath the gatehouse, and he goes in and like he sees something that is surprising to him, and then the door closes.
I think it's the original room that she came out of, because it was on the left-hand side, right?
Yes.
From like one of the very first episodes.
I think so.
And like we always say, no on-screen death. What are they doing with Norman? Do you guys have any theories? I don't even know if we have anything we can go off of to even guess.
I don't think. Okay, my theory is they're never dead until you see them die.
Right.
They'll try to escape. He'll like appear in some way. Like he'll either help them escape, and he had this, like he's figured out a way, or he's like betrayed them all or some fucked up thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like something will happen. He'll show up again.
It'll appear like he's betrayed them, but then he's actually helping them somehow.
The only thing I can think of is that he's going to be offered a similar deal to Emma for a role we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
Oh, but he'll take it. Yeah. Because he's weak. I always felt like he was the weak one, like mentally.
Yeah, like courage-wise, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I always felt like he was going to be the one who was like the traitor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did either of you see? I need to find this meme. It's driving me nuts that I can't find it. The meme where it's like kids in normal life and then kids in Promised Neverland, and it's got like like balancing by one finger, like muscled up all the fuck, like from some monk movie. You've not seen this?
No,
meme?
I haven't seen that, but that makes a ton of sense.
It's been circulating. Oh, I need to find it. I'll post it in the chat or in the Discord once I find it.
All right. So Emma keeps feeling like she's hearing Norman in the orphanage, even though he's not there. But like life goes on at the orphanage. Like there's this scene where like the kids are launching these like water pressured rockets as like Emma is like overseeing them in the yard, but she looks really depressed. And Ray, on the other hand, is just like too depressed to like do anything, and tells the others like he's done and he's not even going to try to escape anymore. And Emma kind of goes to her room to cry, but like Isabella shows up there. and like tries to comfort her by saying like, the easiest way to overcome despair is just by giving up and just conceding to it. And it's it's so easy to do. Just do it. And she's like, I'll recommend you as a candidate to be the mom.
I'm waiting for her to go, just look at me.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
don't you think that Isabella was basically Emma at some point?
Yes, 100%. Like,
very similar.
The reason that she's so offended by Emma being like, fuck no, is because it like doesn't agree with the little reality that she's made for herself in her head where she's doing something good.
Well, yeah, and she also sees Emma in herself.
Yeah, and she's like, just get through this, make the decision I made, because I want you to she wants Emma to justify the same decision she made. Yeah, validate herself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, like, she's like, just accept the despair, end the cycle of suffering, and like have a child and come back and be a mom or a sister.
Okay, that was interesting. Yes. So they make them all have kids.
Yep. That's where the kids come from.
That's how the kid. Doesn't that make you feel even worse for Crone?
Oh, absolutely. It's fucked.
It's fucked up.
It is. And it makes sense that like the top candidate women or girls would be the ones to have kids because they're trying to breed like the top candidates, blah, blah, blah. It's like a whole eugenics type thing.
Oh, Norman's gonna fuck somebody.
Oh, you're so right. That's why
they kept him.
They're gonna make him a stud.
You're so right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You're right, Leo.
He's the perfect candidate. He doesn't have the courage, but he has the brains.
Oh man. And so
the things that 2 beers will make you think of.
No, you're right though. Oh fuck.
So like a ton of time passes by, right? The entire month of December goes by, and then
wait, no, let me.
Oh, sorry. What?
The room that she opened for him was just a room full of naked women in different beds, and she's just like, "You have to get through them all."
That would explain his reaction. He's just like, whoa.
No. It's just he opens the room and there's like a television screen there from like the 1940s. I don't know, whatever. And then just Bible Black is just playing.
Oh, God.
He's like, what?
She's like, take this cup.
Nani?
Anyway, so, and then Hina and Rui from Domestic Girlfriend are also there. Anyway, so
yes,
a lot of time passes by. Yeah, December.
No, like you said, Bible Black's playing, but they're like, if this isn't your shit and you're really fucked up, watch this other show over here we got. It's called Domestic Girlfriend.
Oh, God.
Perfect. And so
I need that harder stuff, but Bible Black isn't doing it for me.
Like they head all the way up to like January 14th, which is like the day before Ray's birthday. So I assume this gives Emma's leg time to heal, and also like it's the next major event, so I understand why they would skip all this time. You also see the kids like running around with like a coat hanger as they're playing, which is weird. And then Ray is like humming this song to himself inside, and he's like sitting alone in this dark room. And Emma comes to see how he's doing, and Ray asks Emma like, "You haven't given up after all, have you?" And then she like smiles like really evilly back at him, and it's like the first time she's acted like this in a long time, so it's like clear she has a plan. And so it's like, all right.
Yeah, she's like,
cool.
No, fucker, I haven't. Let's go. Is what that smile said.
Yeah, she's been like biding her time, so I'm excited to see what this plan is to escape or to do whatever they're gonna do. But yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, okay, I have so far up to this point, like the balance between the drama and the suspense, but there was just way so much more drama this episode.
It was pretty dramatic, yeah.
And didn't really like it as much as I've liked the other episodes.
The part where she like freaks out in the hallway was a bit much. They could have cut that out.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
There was a little much.
Most of it I didn't have an issue with. That part annoyed me a little, but the rest of it I felt was justified because it served a purpose.
Yeah, but just because of the amount of drama, I was a little bored.
Yeah, there were points where I felt myself wanting to roll my eyes, which is like my internal cue of like, okay, it's getting a little much.
True. All right, well, since it's getting too dramatic up in here, why don't we take a break and hear from some of our fellow podcasters? We'll be right back.
We'll see you soon.
The following is an extract from Reanimator Pod episode 47, Blood, Blood, Blood. Taka discusses Des Irae.
Most of the characters in the show, particularly the villains, have more than one name, like many more than one. For example, the super powerful mage from my synopsis is Karl Kraft, also known as Mercurius, also known as Faust, also known as Saint Germain, also known as Paracelsus, also known as Cagliostro, also known as Copophilius Smudge. Woo! Okay, that last one is a Reanimator special, but the rest are all legit. Like, he actually has those names. How about a few more?
He's got more names?
No, they're other characters. He actually had that many names, though. Wilhelm Ehrenberg is Kazikli Bey, because why not? Valeria Trifa is Christoph Lohengrin, who's a priest and is commonly referred to as Father. Lord Heydrich is also Reinhard, and Teresia is Rhea, but Fujiren, aka Zarathustra, is our main character, and also refers to Rhea as Senpai. So we never really learn her name until other characters start calling her Rhea. But really her name's Teresia, so I don't really know how that adds up. Ugh.
And if you like that and you want to hear more from the Reanimator Pod, head on over to reanimatorpod.com. That's REAnimator pod.com. New episodes are out every Monday.
Don't drop that. Hey, don't drop that.
Hi, I'm JD, your host of the Red Leaf Retrocast, your best location to learn, remember, and relive the past to the present. Our podcast has 4 shows for you to listen to between retro gaming, modern gaming, anime, and even wrestling. The Retro Gaming Cast covers discussion topics, and each episode we discuss retro games picked based on a decided theme for that episode, ranging from space all the way to console specials like the old handheld Game Boy. Our Modern Gaming Cast is monthly and covers video game titles that were released in that previous month. Each anime cast, we focus to review a retro anime each and every episode, like the original Mobile Suit Gundam to the racing hit Initial D. But that's not all. We also keep up with the seasonal shows, by occasionally doing impressions and reviews as well. Finally, our last show is about wrestling, where we keep the rising indie scene up to date, while also covering shows from the bigger promotions like Ring of Honor, New Japan, and WWE, so we cover it all. We also cover a retired wrestler every episode in what we call the Wrestler Spotlight, and are currently on a quest covering old WCW Thunder episodes from the late 90s, every cast. So if any one of those casts sound like something you'd like to check out, that's the Red Leaf Retrocast, Gaming, Anime, and Wrestling, found at iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and all your favorite podcasting sites. Also, you can learn, remember, and relive the past to the present. We can't wait to see you soon.
And we're back.
Oh no!
And
Oh yay!
I just realized, okay, as we were taking this break, I passed my sad excuse for a television, and I realized I had not told you about the great TV calamity of this month.
Of Cat's residence.
Yeah. So basically, over the weekend, I was watching the TV and I had it turned to my kitchen so I could watch it while I was doing dishes. And my cat just comes up, jumps up on the cabinet where the TV is, hanging out. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. And it's a little bit wobbly because it's on its side and not on the TV stand as it's supposed to be.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
And it gets knocked over because he bumps it slightly, and it just falls in the corner of the cabinet, and it hits the middle of the TV screen, and I just see cracks spreading.
Oh no.
And I'm like, no.
The damage is done. It's too late.
Oh, and the middle of the screen is just bent in, and it's just dead. It's gone.
I feel like your pets really hate you a lot. They do so much shit to tear up your house. It's amazing.
Well, that's what happens when you have fucking pets. And okay, so I've never actually bought myself my own TV because I didn't own a TV when I was in college. My roommate owned a TV. Because I thought I didn't need to own a TV because TVs are dumb because I didn't grow up with a TV. And
except for when you snuck downstairs when your parents went to bed to watch it.
I didn't watch it a lot, so I was like, why would I need this?
Yeah.
And then when I moved into this condo, I almost said Congo. What the fuck? My realtor had a party for like all of her clients, and I was invited, and I won a TV, a brand new TV.
Wow.
Nice.
And I was like, I guess that's nice. And like now I know what it's like to have one, and so I like want one. So I looked up price, and I was like, my cat just cost me $500,000.
Oh, shit.
The price of love.
That's rough. All right. Well, I don't know how to transition from that to JoJo.
And you know what else has a lot of love in it? This JoJo episode.
You know
because,
it does.
Man, those two new villains, fuck, like they are hot and heavy. You know they were getting down to business.
Oh yeah. They're rubbing all over each other.
Episode 23, Clash and Talking Head. Yes, they are.
Can I start by saying that everybody else in this goddamn fight was useless as fuck?
There was like one scene in the whole episode with the other guys, and they're just like, I don't know what's going on.
Like my boy Narencia, like he stepped up.
Oh, he
like
did.
The rest of these bitches were useless. Narencia's over here. He's like, I may have 2 brain cells to rub together. That's all I have to my name. I'm going to rub the fuck out of those 2 brain cells because, like, that's what we got to work with. He tried really hard, and he actually got some results. Good for him.
They gave him a level of intelligence that we have not even come close to seeing from him yet this episode.
I needed it after last episode.
I knew that he had it in him. He just has to mature
just like
a little.
Bcom and I knew when it was in Chica.
Exactly. We saw it from the beginning.
He's just too young. He's going to get smarter when he gets older. You just wait.
So at the beginning of this episode, Giorno is just figuring out that like Narancia can't say what he means, everything with the shark attack taking over his tongue and everything. And then like Squallow, like the shark stand Clash, like starts pulling Giorno underwater. And like the 2 guys
Which
plan.
is the slowest process ever.
Yeah. Yes. Squallow and Tiziano's plan is like to take out Giorno first because they know he can heal his friends, so they got to take him out. But they need to stop his breathing because Narancia's stand, Aerosmith, or Little Bomber, as they call it on Crunchyroll, can track his position with like the radar that Narancia has, if he can see the breathing. So Narancia's like using his radar to predict where Giorno will show up next, as they predicted he would, and he starts like firing at the shark with Aerosmith, but it dives like inside of Giorno's neck. And then he just fires like a hail of bullets into Giorno, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shot you." And so Narancia says, like, the breathing signal has disappeared from my radar. They got away, as Giorno is dragged under. And like Tiziano and Squallow think for a second that they've won, but then Tiziano realizes that the talking head like should make it so Narancia can only say the opposite of what he means. So when he says like they got away, they really didn't get away. And so he's just saying the opposite to kind of screw with them, which is Narancia finally like using this to his advantage, which is really smart. So it turns out Narancia was able to track Giorno from the residue of the gunshots that Aerosmith had fired into Giorno's body, which are giving off like smoke.
I don't know. That's kind of bullshit.
Everything is bullshit. And Aerosmith fires bullets into Giorno's neck, which hit Clash. It's the shark. And Squallow also... Or sorry, they hit Squallow, the shark, and Clash takes damage. Wait, is that right? Do I have this backwards? I don't. Like Squallow is the guy, right?
Squallow is the guy. Clash is his stand.
So I'm getting confused because I understand Italian and know that Squallow means shark. So I'm like really fucking
It seems
confused.
like the stand should be called
Exactly.
Squallow.
But God, the stand is called the Clash or whatever, or Clash. So yeah, he hits the stand at the same time, and it also hits like does bullet damage to Squallow in real life. And like, yeah, like Abakio's Moody Blues, like he's trying to use it to like replay the events, but he says it's like a tape that was torn and can't rewind past a certain point. So they're just standing around doing nothing, basically, like Leo said. Like they're useless during this entire
well,
fight.
that's interesting about Moody Blues because they have shown that it, like at first I was like, okay, so it can't mimic the stand's ability, but they did show that it could on the boat, right?
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, it seems like a little inconsistent.
It's just some just random rule they're just going to throw at us just because.
Yeah. Aerosmith's attacks continue to damage Squalo, especially as his like jumps keep getting shorter and shorter and like more predictable for Narancia.
They named his stand Aerosmith. What the fuck? It just makes me think of like the band just like in a tiny airplane. Like, they're just in there like singing.
Oh, Steven Tyler's at the controls.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play the Aerosmith game that was on the Super Nintendo?
I've seen it played, but I've never played it myself.
I've played it, and it has like their legit soundtrack, and it's fucking amazing.
It's pretty cool that got made. That's just a cool thing for sure. So Clash, the shark stand, starts jumping into a bunch of cooking pots, and like Aerosmith firing at the pots like tips them over, and like the water from the pots extinguishes the flame on the stove, but then the gas starts spreading throughout the kitchen, and Aerosmith can't fire without blowing everything up. So but even though Narancia can't fire, he has Aerosmith just dive bomb the stupid shark with its like propeller and just tear its shit up, which is exactly what it does. And Tiziano like releases Narancia from Talking Head's influence like really temporarily, and this allows Narancia to like finally tell the other guys like, hey, this is what's happening, like they're attacking us, we're in here, like help. And so, but like as soon as the other guys like miss to get there, Tiziano reactivates Talking Head. And so Narancia wants to scream like, don't fire your gun or something, but instead he screams like, shoot, Mista. And so he shoots, the whole kitchen explodes. And then like Giorno, as he's about to get sucked away by Clash, tells like Narancia like, don't go after the stand, go after the user. And he like disappears, only leaving his ladybug like button behind, which is important later. And so, yeah, Squalo and Tiziano think there's no way that Narancia can track them down. But, like, Squalo starts to wonder, like, if Narancia could recognize his labored breathing since he's injured from all the bullet wounds. But even so, Tiziano's like, well, there's, like, 100 people around this area of Venice, and, like, some of them are running around and breathing heavily, so he's never going to find you.
Well, you know, in my first... And then, this is not what they went with, but my next thought was... No, but he's looking for a pair. He's looking for somebody with labored breathing and somebody who doesn't have labored breathing.
That would help too, yeah.
How many pairs of people are they going to find like that?
Yeah, all of these stand users are like just big, bulky, hot like dudes. Like it's not that hard to figure out. Like,
Are you saying their character designs stand out slightly?
I mean, I think after a while I'd be like, it seems like only really hot, bulky dudes are stand
you're like,
users.
I'm gonna go with the good-looking, muscular guy over there in the corner.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, like Tiziano is the hottest villain ever. Like
he's pretty hot.
He needs to come live in my house and be my harem boy. Look at his hair.
It's flowing.
And his eyes. Oh.
So Narancia is really smart, though. He starts playing mind games with them. He says out loud, "I found you," which is, of course, the opposite of what he means, but it still makes Squalo start to panic a little bit. And Tiziano's like trying to reassure him, like, talking head. Like, he's obviously saying the opposite of what he means. He hasn't found us. But then we see, like, he's like, Talking Head's still definitely on Narancia's tongue. But then they turn around and see Narancia's like right there, and he has cut his own tongue off.
Okay. So at this point, he's like, I was looking for someone who was alarmed at the fact that I, like, didn't have my tongue anymore or some bullshit. And I was like, that would be everyone. Everyone in that square would be alarmed that you don't have your fucking...
No, he did have a tongue. That's what the ladybug button was.
Imagine you're in a street. You're just chilling. You're eating your like fucking Italian.
What alerted them was because
food.
they could see the stand and
Leo,
nobody else could.
I need to
so they could see the stand.
You need to just hush for a second. Imagine you're eating your fucking Italian street food, whatever the fuck it is.
Can't be reasonable around here.
Chilling out. All of a sudden, a man, a young boy, comes into the square, starts yelling, holds up a severed tongue. He's bleeding.
If you look at any rest of this anime, there's so much shit that happens in public that everybody is completely unaware of that, like, I can't even notice that in this scene.
I'm just saying, I imagine Everyone is alarmed at the fact that he's holding up a severed tongue.
And like blood is spurting out of his mouth as he's trying to talk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone would be like, holy shit, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like, no one is just chill like, oh yeah, severed tongue.
That's a good point, Kat. That's a really good point. But yeah, he's like, oh, I can totally tell because your breathing drastically changed when you panicked, like seeing my tongue cut out. And so, yeah, Squalo tries to like retrieve Clash from like underneath them in the sewers, but there's no water nearby for Clash to even jump at Narancia. So Narancia just attacks them with Aerosmith, and Tiziano actually jumps in front of Squalo to protect him because he loves him. And his blood creates this liquid, and some of it splashes onto Narancia's shoulder. And he's like, as he's dying in Squalo's arms, he's like, I created some liquid for you. Like, use it well, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, furious, Squalo tells Clash to, like, rip out Narancia's neck. And it, like, starts to do that. Like, there's this fish, like, appears out of his shoulder where the blood is and, like, bites into his neck. And then, like, you just see this fish, like, flopping, like, hanging off of his neck, like, biting for dear life. And then Narancia just becomes this huge fucking badass. And he's like, you think I would falter because of something like this? As this fish is, like, flopping around all over the place. And so he launches Aerosmith at Squalo, and it, like, rams Squalo, like, right in the chest, which throws him into the air. And then it fires this like hail of machine gun bullets, tearing him up, and like Squalo's like yelling like vola 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 vola, and he like finally ends it like when he gets him with like volare via, which is like go flying or like fly away. Bitch.
So he was saying fly, 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 fly.
Yeah, fly, 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 fly. It was pretty great. And so Squalo dies like wondering like, why do these guys have so much hope? What's driving them forward? And like Giorno looks like he's dead on the ground, but Narancia like sees dramatically on his radar that Giorno's still breathing. And so yeah, the guys like regroup, they get on a boat, and they're like, let's get the fuck out of Venice, let's go to the airport and we'll get a plane. I'm
imagining they're all like, that's a thing that happened, and we were useless. That's what they're all thinking right now. And they should. Useless pieces of furniture. Fucking bitches.
Oh, speaking of useless pieces of furniture, did anybody have anything else they want to say about JoJo?
No, that was just like, it was an awesome episode. I was really happy that like Narancia stepped it up big time, and like that they had some brains to use for once, which was nice.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, domestic girlfriend, break a leg, guys. Episode 10, liar. So we open with Natsuo distracting Hina from cooking by kissing her, and she almost burns supper.
Yeah, she's a terrible cook.
I guess I'm opening a beer before we podcast about an hour as I wrote this.
Yeah, open a beer. Go ahead, lay back, open your
No, that's what I did when I wrote this. I watched the intro and went, oh, I guess I'm going to have a beer before we start.
I'm telling you, like, why is that such a trope in anime that, like, girls have to be bad at cooking?
Or good at cooking,
or
either
really
one.
Good.
Well, she was
like, you know
good.
what?
She just got
Sometimes
distracted.
There are girls who are just good at cooking some things, and they suck at cooking other things.
No,
they
you
don't
have to be good at cooking everything.
They don't have to be at extremes of the spectrum.
That's true. That's true, Kat. I believe that.
That's so crazy to me because I grew up with obviously my mom and her 4 sisters, and everybody can cook anything you want to throw at them. So, and pretty much me and all my cousins can pretty much do the same thing. I don't know why. It must be a family thing, but so like, yeah, this trope is just, I've always just glossed over it. Like, this is just some stupid trope to throw in there because I'm like, if anybody can cook anything, I don't see what the difficulty is. Do you guys have trouble cooking at all?
Not really. Like, you just have to learn, and then it's easy.
I've even accidentally skipped a step or an ingredient and still been able to like recover to something still edible enough. It's not bad.
I've definitely fucked things up, but like, I don't know. It just comes with practice and experience. That's all it is. That's all you need.
True.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good at cooking some things. I'm also shitty at cooking other things.
Well, what do you suck at cooking at then? I'm interested.
Like, if it's on the stove, especially if it's like a steak, I'm really bad at cooking steak. I will burn the fuck out of that steak.
It won't still have like a raw middle.
or that. I don't know. Something will happen with that steak. Don't ask me to cook you a steak, is my point.
The only time I run into that is if I use a stove I have never used before and I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Interesting.
But like my stove, no problem.
All right, so what else happens after this opening scene?
I want to talk about cooking more.
No.
Okay, so for this really dumb reason, the show just does like this super, super fast culture festival.
Yeah.
And all it does is show girls in made uniforms, even like Alex is in one with a wig. And that's it.
That's really
I don't even know why, like, they were like, fuck, we got to cover 20 seconds. What do we do? And
that
then
was
just
weird.
Threw that in there.
Maybe it's longer in the manga and they just cut it out. I don't know. It was weird
Did
to have
they
in
do a culture festival yet?
No, they did just
I remember,
like this fireworks festival and stuff.
Okay, now I remember one being pretty prominent in the manga. From remembering correctly.
Remember them doing one yet, but yeah.
It was something about having to dance with Ruri. I don't know if they cover that or not. I don't know. I get confused what I've seen in the anime. Okay, so they did skip a big part. So it turns out it's club time like the next day, and they get kind of worried about Kaguya-sensei because he's been gone the last couple of days, and they're like, teachers don't usually take a couple of days off. So
because they're usually broke as fuck and all that.
My roommate was a teacher. Yeah, they they don't make the greatest salaries over here, or probably over there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a little better over there, but I don't think it's by much.
So they decide like visit him and see, make sure he's okay. So it's Natsuo, Ruri, Miyu who goes to his place, which turns out to be a very fancy apartment building. Mm-hmm. And when they go to his door, they're greeted by like this beauty in glasses at the door. And they're like, oh, is that his girlfriend? We know he's not married. What's going on? So what turns out is Kaguya is an author, and he had taken the time off to meet his deadline. And the glasses beauty was just his editor there, getting the paperwork. Mm-hmm. We've seen those great classic anime authors like
what is his name from Eromanga Sensei? Elf Yamada, classic author, Eromanga Sensei.
But it also turns out that like a lot of artists, they go by a pen name. Authors, they have a pen name, and his is Yu Hasukawa, and Natsuo is like super fanboy about this author and just like basically loses his shit for a minute. Yeah. And then
he's like, I forgive him for fucking my girlfriend because I love his work, which I thought was kind of funny. Like,
no, he's not the one who fucked Hina.
Yeah, that's
Isn't it?
No. He's friends with the guy who did.
He's friends with the guy, whoever, whatever.
It would have been funny to admit if it was actually the.
It would have been funny, yes. I would have liked that.
Yeah, but then Kira also recommends that they enter the stories that they're writing for the club into a contest through a magazine he's affiliated with. And he also says it's a really good idea because, then it'll also put you on the fast track to becoming a actual pro author at this point.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they kind of like react to that. Like, isn't like Natsuo like really into it? And
Natsuo is beside himself about the idea of becoming a pro, becoming a legit author. Basically.
Yeah. He's like really
Which is
excited.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Ruri is just straight up like, I could care less if I entered or not or whatever.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because not everyone wants to be an author.
Right.
It kind of sucks. But
then it's immediately brought up in the next scene because Natsuo is they're at school. He's still super hyped about this contest and stuff. But then he immediately goes into like teasing Miyu about how she was like kind of gloomy before they got there. But then after they left, she was like, she was all like smiles and stuff, and she's like,
thank God this guy didn't have a girlfriend or whatever.
So she like elbows him to stop, and he falls down the stairs and breaks his leg.
That was the best thing ever.
He deserved the fuck out of that.
Yes, he did.
Did you see Bcom's fucking note down here?
Oh yeah, whatever, right? Like he just deserved it, like 100%. Yeah.
You go, not gonna lie.
All these
felt pretty great to see Natsuo break his leg.
Yes.
Like, I almost wish he hadn't, though, because he ends up getting all these fucking benefits from having his leg broken. And I'm like, fucking bitch, this is supposed to be your karmic punishment.
No,
You're supposed to take
it only
it.
leads to more sex shenanigans.
I was so pissed.
Come on, you know where this show's going. It's not. It's
not wholesome. You're saying
Yeah.
it was always destined to be a
You
pile
knew-
of trash.
I'm just saying the next turn of events you knew was just obvious. It was coming.
Oh, yeah. I'm shocked that no one has fucked yet. I'm shocked that, like,
fucked
neither
her.
of these
He
girls
fucked her in
has
the first
gotten on.
episode.
Well, but, like, neither of these girls after the first episode has, like, at this point gotten on. I imagined in my head, like, okay, they're both giving him a bath. They're going to get on top of him and just ride the fuck out of him. He's going to be like, no, we shouldn't. But he's, like, incapacitated because of his fucking broken leg. But no, none of them do it.
That kind of, not to the extent it sort of happens.
Well, I mean, like, sexy things happen, but, like, he doesn't get it in.
No.
Yeah. So Rui and Hina basically use his new injury to just basically fawn over him. Like, even Hina makes a visit, which she hasn't yet. And then, like, she leaves, and then Rui, like, she's giving him supper, but then, like, uses his immobility to kiss him. And she's like, I'll take really good care of you while you heal.
Yeah,
and
I'll
I
take good care of you.
immediately, it's a book at first. Excuse me. It's a book, but they also made a movie. And it's Stephen King's Misery. Have either of you seen
Oh,
this?
yes, I've seen this. It's
I
a
haven't
fucked
seen it.
up show.
You understand where my train of thought went, right? Bcom, did you say you have not?
I have not seen it, so that's interesting. Yeah.
So
Okay, wait. We need to all pause and take this moment to appreciate that
It's a movie
I have
that
seen a
you've
movie
seen.
that you have not seen. Let it be enshrined
and
in the
it's-
halls of history.
That's a good point, actually.
yeah, it was from, is it 1990? I don't know. But anyways, this is what the premise is about. It's okay. The main character is Kathy Bates. This is awesome.
Oh, I know this. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so this, like, in this movie, this famous author, he gets in a car wreck and he's found by the character Kathy Bates plays, but she loves this author and recognizes him. And so she keeps him basically prisoned in her house, all casted up, and won't let him escape because she's so infatuated with him.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
nice.
point where, like, she
It's-
breaks his legs,
Yes.
like,
Yep.
so he can't
Yep.
get the fuck away. And she has this, like, look on her face when she does it. She's like, it's for
Well-
us, or whatever. And I'm just like, you're
Kathy
insane.
Bates always plays these, like, really happy, super smiley characters.
Yeah.
And she does that character, but in this role, and it's fucking amazing. It is a great movie.
I've seen that
definitely-
scene before, so I recognize that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's
I saw
awesome.
this, and I'm just like, I immediately was just like, holy shit, this is Misery all over again. So, moving on.
I think Rui would be more likely to do that to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't
honestly.
blame Rui for snapping like that at some point.
Okay, no, I would
Rui's
blame her.
obsessed with him.
Like,
for sure.
She needs to back the fuck off of him. Rui needs to, like, stop. She's getting
She
a little
does.
weird.
She does. Yeah.
So, so Mio at school is, of course, like, really fucking sorry about it. Like, you knew this was
Kneels
coming.
at his feet, and
She's
like, doesn't
crying.
one of the guys like make a joke about
Yeah,
how he should
use
like
this.
use this? And I'm just imagining him be like, "Suck me off" or whatever, and then it turns into a porn. But of
Yeah,
course it
but
doesn't.
that's just a stupid scene. It's just like super quick and it goes away. So we go on to the
I
next one.
know. But
where
I'm just telling you, this could be a 12-part porn series. Every single episode of this could just be turned into a porn.
Oh my god!
Obviously, yeah.
I'm getting
They've
to
already
it.
done
I'm
it with the
getting to
first
it.
episode.
Give you a minute. So
Okay.
we go on to the next scene where, if anybody's ever had a cast, I had a friend who had a cast. You know, you can't get it wet while you bathe. You gotta like wrap it in a bag or something like that. But have no fear. Taking advantage of the situation, Rui arrives to take care of him.
Take care of him.
Naked.
And Natsuo is just a fucking pussy. He's like, turn off the lights. I want to see my ding dong.
That was
I
a
need
really
you to
weird,
say that
like,
again.
moment.
Yeah. I don't want to see my ding dong.
I don't want to see my ding dong.
And then the whole thing, no, that's not it. That's not, I don't think that's what it is. I think he wants to
It's
turn
not
off
like
the lights.
it's already been inside you.
No,
Well,
it's
he gets like
not
really
that.
flustered by like her like fucking badass banging body and shit.
Well, yeah, that, but the point is he doesn't want to cheat on Hina, and he even says, like, I'm sorry, Hina, like, I can't do anything to stop.
Dude,
like,
he's already in so deep with the debauchery, just start fucking them both at this point, is what I say.
I mean, he's basically two-timing both of them already.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
I don't see him being like, you need to stop kissing me whenever she kisses him.
So, with the lights off, if you try to wrap your mind around how this happened, but Ruri accidentally grabs his dong while trying to find the body wash.
I'm just joking.
While trying to find the body
somehow
wash.
grabs it.
And she knows she's washing his back. So, like, where his dong would be and where the body wash would be, I don't understand why they would be that close or how she would make that mistake.
Unless he has the world's largest dong.
Well, maybe
and it just
he does.
extends way out. And if so, I mean, I think she'd remember that.
But like the face,
they already fucked. Like you said, she would know how big his dick is.
But the face he makes, the 1 second like Picasso piece of art, like abstract.
Yeah, you
face.
couldn't even stick to our sock puppet creatures for a goddamn
No,
week.
I had to change my Discord profile pic to that face because it's so good. It's so stupid. Oh man, I love it so much. I like immediately saw that and immediately changed my profile picture like within a few minutes to that.
Yeah, and then she's just like blushing afterwards and like looking at her hand. I'm like, his dick was inside you. What the fuck are you fucking blushing about right now? I don't.
Well, you know, people get blushy.
So Rui then goes to that damn cafe. I don't even know the name of it. And tells Fumiya that Natsuo broke his leg and won't be coming over for a while. And he's all like, oh, he hasn't actually been over for a while. What are you talking about? Which obviously leaves Rui to question Natsuo about it later. And he just covers with another flat out lie, which is a terrible idea. And he's like, oh, I've been going to Momo's, you know, to help cheer her up and keep her out of her depression, blah, blah, blah. And she buys it at first. And the next day, Natsuo uses another lie and tells Hina he's going to Fumiya's apologize and goes to Hina's instead. And we already know he talked to Fumiya yesterday night to apologize and like work the shit out.
Yeah.
Oh man. So they're in there. Things are getting hot and heavy. Like they're grinding on fucking each other. He's fucking levering his goddamn quadriceps right up into her fucking vagina through her jeans.
But it's still like so boring.
Quadriceps and her jeans.
It's still like the most boring like
Dude,
white bread
it's like
scene,
one of the
though.
first moves you learn inadvertently because like you're making out with a girl and then she grinds on you and then you realize what she's doing and then you kind of reverse the move and I'm just like anyways, they're doing their thing. There's a ring at the doorbell. She's like, oh, I must have a delivery. Of course, it's Ruri. She just like
I love
walks
how
in.
she just comes in and is just silent the whole time. But this could have been a serial killer moment. She could have like taken out a gun or something and just shot them all and left.
I have big problems with this scene logistically because Rui comes in. She sees what's happening, right? Like, she's furious. She's, like, beside herself. She still takes her shoes off.
But she's
Oh
really...
my gosh, she takes her shoes off.
Dude, I think that's just a
word.
Japanese thing. I think that's when you look at it and go, this is so 100% a Japanese
and her
thing.
sister doesn't say a word to her.
Well, because her sister knows that, like, uh-oh.
But this is the most important part. If you watch this scene, like, she goes up to him, she starts crying, whatever. They look at each other for a long time. And then she starts to run.
You say crying, but she's really hurt. Like, her tears in her face is like,
she's
I'm really hurt
yeah,
about
it's a serious
you
thing.
lying to me.
But
Yes.
she starts to run. She starts sprinting out the door. She does not break stride. She somehow stepped back into her shoes at a full sprint. She never stops to put them back on. She just runs straight out the door.
Did she really take her shoes off? I don't
Yes, she
remember
took
that
She
part.
did. She totally took her
Oh,
shoes
God.
off. Was she wearing loafers, maybe? Because I could see with loafers, like, I've shoved some shoes on my feet, like, fucking fast and booked it.
Yeah. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that, like, they just cut the little part where she, like, shoved her shoes back on or something. But, like, it was so funny in the moment, like, see, I was like, did she not put her shoes
I
back
just
on?
don't understand why no one said anything. You think at some point someone would be like, let me talk to you about this. But no.
There's nothing to be said, Kat.
I personally got distracted by what happened next because Natsuo goes home and he calls Fumiya and Fumiya informs him that she did stop by, but she's like, but he's like, oh, I'll cover for you. You said you already left. And And then like you get the scene, you see like she drops 2 umbrellas, and I'm just like, oh no, getting caught in the rain. The number 1 killer for the Japanese.
You expect to see her in like the intensive care unit next. That's like the next scene.
Yeah, so Natsuo eventually finds like Ruya in the park, and she tells him after she left Fumia's, she went back home and Natsuo still wasn't there, so she got curious, went to his room, looked for clues, found this story about a student fucking falling in love with his teacher. It connects the dots, and that's why she ended up going to Hina's fucking place. Ugh.
It was funny. He was like covered in mud from like having, so I was just like imagining in my head all of like the times he fell as he was looking for her, and I was enjoying that as well.
Honestly, Rui is getting to the point where she's kind of stalking him, and it's not healthy.
Yeah,
like,
agreed. She needs to get over her like first love. Yeah.
You're not worried about Natsuo stalking Hina?
Well, I mean, no, because Hina's kind of encouraging it. Like,
Hina's
she's
definitely
not.
encouraging
she
it.
gave him the key.
And Natsuo isn't by accepting the kisses from her?
Well, okay, but like,
oh, you mean from Rui?
Like
yeah, from Rui.
Hina is like an adult, right? And she is in a better position to be like,
okay, that's another
deciding,
debate. How much of an adult in the head she is.
Well, like, I'm deciding that
That's a good
this
point.
is okay with me. Whereas Rui seems to just be fucked up and like not, and just doing dumb things. Like, oh, I'm gonna like find him and stalk him and like go find where he is.
Yeah,
like that's not a good frame of mind.
So like she wanted to know the truth about what was happening. I understand why she went to the friend's house, and like she said, like she went to just like pick him up, but like also she wants to figure out like, is he really telling the truth?
Well, no, I'm not saying it's bad that like she felt this way. I'm just saying it's not healthy that she felt that she had to do this. She's getting into like some dangerous territory here. Like she really needs to step back and
like he tells her like straight out like, no, I love Hina. I've loved her for a long time. And she's like since before we moved in together. And he's like, yeah. So at like this point, if she was like logically thinking, she should probably just back off. And,
which she strikes me as a logical character.
Somewhat. Yeah. She's a little weird, but she's in love. So yeah, oh well. But speaking of illogical fucking characters, let's talk about the next show, Kaguya-sama.
Kat, please tell me you had problems with this episode.
So I've never heard of people fighting about a piece of cake for an hour. This is
that was
ridiculous.
So long. That was so ridiculous. I can't imagine just sitting there for an hour. Like Yu sits there in that room for an hour as they're holding this plate.
You think that he would leave?
Yeah, like I would not be able to handle it after like 2 minutes at the longest.
Yeah, so they reconcile, like, so Kaguya and Miyuki, like, they've reconciled after this bed incident, the great bed incident of episode 9, apparently.
God. I hate this episode.
But Kaguya was still, I mean, I understood kind of, like, the Kaguya was still pissed. And, like, I feel like, okay, sometimes it takes you a while to get over something, right? Like, even if you know in your head that you've talked about, like, I get that. I'm a grudge holder. I'm fucking notorious grudge holder. I get it.
Oh wow, I believe that 110%.
See, no, I get that part of it. I'm fine with her still being upset. I'm just not okay with the reason that she is mad at him. She's mad at him because he didn't sexually assault her. Like, that's why she's mad.
I think she's mad, like, she's conflicted mad. So she's mad partly because he didn't sexually assault her, and she's also mad partly because he may have sexually assaulted her.
This is the thing.
Exactly.
She wanted him to, but their main problem is they haven't verbally told each other, I would be okay if you did do things to me.
Right.
And in her head, she's like, I want you to. But then, like, you're looking at Bcom like, oh, it's sexual assault because then he didn't have the permission. From his point of view, it would have been. But from her point of view, she would have wanted it.
And also, when I think about it from Kaguya's point of view, she knows, like, literally nothing about sex besides what Chika has told her.
Yeah. And
so
basically, if they just fucking sat down and told each other what they'd like about each other, it'd be fine.
Well, yeah, but if she... Basically, what I think she probably would have wanted to happen was for him to, like, kiss her on the forehead or something. Like, that's probably what she wanted to have happened.
I'm sorry.
I think Leo's had an emergency with his cat.
I had to yell at my cat. She was fucking in a door frame doing their scratching shit.
I totally recognize the
had
like
to get her off.
my pet is doing a bad thing voice.
I'm sitting here and just, I'm like, God damn it.
So anyway, I understand what Kaguya like probably wanted. She probably wanted something really innocent and romantic to happen. But like just after the whole episode with like the maid being like, "You'll be alone, it'll be soundproof," and then like this, it's just like, all right, come on.
It's a little, yeah. But she also is aware of Kaguya's thoughts. Mm-hmm. But still, yeah, it's. I know why you think it's fucked up, but it's
right.
Man,
ideally, he would have like gotten into bed with her and been like, "I've loved you this whole time, and we will now make love. Is this okay with you?" And she would have been like, "Ah," and that would have been the scene. I think that's what she wanted.
That's sure, yeah.
I guess I don't know. So yeah, there are 2 pieces of cake that are put in the office room, I guess by this like well-meaning like worker who's like, "Oh, I see these kids, they're working late. Like,
I
I'm
think
gonna
it was
give
the
them
principal.
cake." Yeah, which don't.
There
what
was
have you
some
done?
excuse or reasoning, but it's not that important.
Yeah, and so of course you being a selfish little bitch, because he kind of is sometimes. Like, I like you, but sometimes he's a little thoughtless. So he takes it and he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna eat this piece of cake," and then there's only one. And like apparently both of them want it, Miyuki and Kaguya, but their like response is to make the other person eat it instead of themselves, and just fight about it for an hour.
Literally an hour.
Dumb. Literally an hour. And then at one point, they just get ridiculous with it. Like at one point, Kaguya is like, "Prove that the cake isn't sentient. It wants you to eat it." And I'm like, "What are you doing?"
You know, that's so funny because Bcom and I literally had a conversation once about what's sentient and what's isn't.
Oh yeah.
I mean, boy. It is interesting to think about, but like that's not something you bring up at a student camp, like a school function. That's something you bring up while high or drunk in a Discord chat. I mean, I've had that conversation.
Yeah, sure.
but not in a professional setting. Then again, at this point, like the gloves
don't
are
we
off.
have plans now to feed Cat an edible and just take
much.
stock of her thoughts?
Just see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I would do that with you. But yeah, okay, so. And then at one point, they talk about their memories of when they first met. And so Miyuki is like, "The day I met you, I said to you," like he has this like flashback scene and he says to her face, "Your eyes are lifeless."
Yeah.
Like, what were you thinking of or something? And I'm like, you said that to her face? Did you want to die?
Yeah, seriously. Talk about getting off on the wrong foot.
I know. Who looks at someone and is like, "Your eyes are lifeless. What are you thinking?" Like, what? A serial killer says that. And she says something like, "I was thinking of cake."
Well, he's like, he was wondering if she liked anything at all. And she's like, I guess I like shortcake. Blah, blah, blah.
And I'm like, no. So that's how he's like, "You like cake. And so I want you to eat this cake." And she's touched by this. And she like turns aside so he can't see that she's touched by it. And then she remembers this like other scene from last Christmas where he tells her in confidence that he's never eaten Christmas cake because like his family's poor and all this bullshit. Mm-hmm. And he's also touched that she remembers this. And I'm kind of like, "Oh, honey, you don't want to eat Christmas cake. Christmas cake is full of dried fruits and is terrible. You don't want
I've
that.
never experienced one, but I've only heard bad things about it.
It's not even that it's that bad. It's just like of all of the things that you could eat on Christmas, like there's so many better things.
Well, are you guys talking about Japanese Christmas cakes? Because I think they're different. Like, there's all sorts of Japanese Christmas cakes. Yeah.
I have no idea what the Japanese people do with Christmas cakes. I mean, but obviously it's wrong because we're the ones who made them. So we are the correct Christmas cake.
Sure we are.
An American Christmas cake is full of like the red and green cherry things.
Yeah.
And it's made in the mold of a pound cake and it jiggles slightly when you pick it up.
I do not like those at all.
That is a Christmas pound cake. And it's not that great. Then they fight about they're like, well, I guess we'll feed it to each other. And I'm like, how have you somehow backed yourself into this excruciating, like, lovey-dovey behavior that is so sickening, and you only see it in, like, middle school kids who, like, are with their first boyfriend. And have you seen that in middle school? Or, like, watched little kids do this shit with each other where they're like,
sure, yeah.
Open your mouth. And then, oh, God.
They have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? You're in high school. You're supposed to be past this. And it almost looks like a wedding. Like when they, and I'm like, stop. And luckily at this point, Chica comes in and fucking saves them and just eats it all herself. Because thank God, this needed to end.
It really did need to end.
Yes. The next skit is basically an extension. They both are asking different people for advice on making up because they're both in this fight.
Oh, this is their ongoing scheme they keep doing. Their whatever. I fucking hate it. It's what I hate the most about us.
I hate that you like basically became like a fucking incel in this scene. Like,
oh, I know. It was weird. And like,
it was weird.
Somehow Miyuki asked you for advice, which is the worst thing he could ever do. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. Maybe the worst judgment I've seen Miyuki ever show. And you just goes on and on about like how, oh, I know all about video games, and like he's explaining like what Kaguya has done, and you was like, oh, she sounds like a terrible character, and I hate her, and and she probably rubbed one out when that guy left, and I'm like, what? Did he just say that? I thought it was epic. I was amazed. I was like, wow. Whereas, I mean, Kaguya's conversation is much more tame.
Right.
It's interesting, in my opinion, that Miyuki still felt guilty, whereas Kaguya felt more like, yeah, I should be angry, blah, blah, blah. And it made me think, in this instance, combined with a few other of the instances, that it's probably going to end up being Miyuki who gives in and, like, bends a little bit to make this relationship work, in my opinion.
Most likely, yeah.
But yeah, the way they finally solve it after they do this dumb back and forth with their friends is that Miyuki goes up to her and is like, I confess, I did touch you with my finger on your lips. I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, and then she like touches his lips. And then she's like, we're even now. And then it seems like to satisfy her because she's like, he did want to touch me. Ooh, I feel better.
Like, see, that's what she wanted. She wanted him to, like, run his fingers through her hair or, like, touch her lip or like, something like that. Like, she didn't just actually want anything more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just show that he desired her in some way.
Yeah. But it just comes off so creepily that I was just like, do we have to? Because, like, if you think about it, like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into this whole argument how like Kaguya is potentially like encouraging guys to think that like if girls are unconscious, like they actually want you to do something with them, because like that's fucked. But like that's where my head was going during this episode, and I was like, all right, could they have made this like a bit clearer about like what she actually wanted?
They definitely could have done a better job, but it wasn't the worst thing.
It wasn't the worst thing ever. Worse. Yeah.
And then they have this tiny skit where basically they all want to go on summer break and they have to decide where to go. And Miyuki is afraid for his own pride's sake to bring it up because he's like, if I bring it up and it fails, then it's on me. And I'm not letting it be on me.
Oh, yeah. This is the skit I was specifically talking about.
Oh, my God.
They got to stop it. It's getting old.
Yeah.
And then Miyuki tries to get Chika to bring it up instead, but Chika's like, I'm going to Hawaii. And Kaguya is like spaced out this entire skit. She's like, I have given up on life. I don't need to be a part of this. I know it's not going to end well. And they decide finally, after debating, that they should go to the festival together. But then Chica's like, but that week I'm going to Spain for the tomato festival. You can't go without me, then I'll be upset. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I looked up, this is a thing in Spain. This is an actual thing. Yeah. They have a thing called the tomato festival. Basically, hundreds of years ago, some idiot in a festival got angry that his float broke and found a tomato cart and started throwing tomatoes at people. And other people, this is literally how the tomato festival in Spain started. I looked this shit up. Other people got angry and were like, what? And started also throwing tomatoes. And then they made it a tradition. And now it's just a huge thing of people out in the middle of the street in Spain.
So
that's awesome.
Throwing tomatoes at each other, people running around covered in red like it's a massacre. Just tomatoes everywhere.
It's
Leo's
called
favorite festival.
Yeah, it's called the La Tomatina. It's a festival that's held in the Valencian town of Buñol in the east of Spain.
To this.
19 miles from the Mediterranean, in which participants throw tomatoes and get involved in a tomato fight purely for entertainment purposes. And since 1945 has been held on the last Wednesday of August during a week of festivities.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really fun.
I am doing this one year. And when I do it, I'm going to post pictures of myself covered in tomato in the Discord.
Okay,
and just be like, I did it.
If you want to go this year, it'll be August 28th. If you want to go 2020, it'll be August 26th. Or if you want to go 2021, it'll be August 25th.
I'm doing it. I'm telling you, I'm doing it. This is a vow. I will do this in my lifetime. There's no way I can't do it. I have to do it.
Sounds good. All right.
You know I'm going to make a bad period joke, right?
Oh no.
I mean, if you must.
I don't know. I might not. Ugh.
Yeah. The only other thing about this episode, I got angry at you when in that second skit when he was just talking shit about Kaguya about her being sick is no excuse. She should she invited you into her bed. Who cares if she was out of it and unconscious? I was just you calm the fuck down. They just went a little too far with that bullshit. I get why it's supposed to be funny, but they went way too far with it. And I was just calm the fuck down, show. I don't know.
They did a bit.
That whole last skit, I kind of agree with Leo on. That was just boring and sort of repetitive as well. So not Kaguya's best episode.
Well, the final skit, what it really gave us was the tomato festival. That in itself redeems it. But
we have goals in life now. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kaguya.
Thank you, Chica. Let's remember, Chica is the one who gave us the tomato festival.
I never thought at the beginning of the season I would hear Kat just thanking Chica. It sounds so sweet to my ears.
She's also the answer to some of these dumb skits to finally end.
That's true.
Yeah, they need her sometimes. They need her to come in and stop the madness.
Ooh,
all right,
madness.
Let's finish this off with Dororo.
I guess that could be Dororo a little bit. So, episode 10 of 24, the story of Tahomaru.
Yes.
We open with a calm and serene, a peaceful view of a lake. And then you notice that there's ships that have been torn to pieces. Well, they're kind of boats. And that a man is swimming for a piece to hold on to, even though he's missing part of one of his lower legs. And then the no fucks to give demon creates a whirlpool to suck the man into its mouth. Eat him.
Yummy.
I think it's pretty safe to say we won't have to worry about if this one deserves a redemption or not.
Probably not.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Okay,
This demon sucks.
So you see the monster from the very beginning. Did anyone else just get really hungry for crab this entire episode?
Oh, when Tahomaru slices open its claw and I could see the meat, I was like, I gotta go eat some crab.
And it's just
I immediately thought I need some butter.
I know. I was like, oh my god, that looks so good. And I just kept thinking, imagine if they killed this thing and it's just laying there and they're like, well, let's eat it. And they just crack it open. Can you imagine how delicious that would be? You wouldn't have to fight for the meat. It would just be so much.
I have never sat down and actually had crab, but I've had lobster, so I still got kind of the same effect.
Crab is better than lobster. It's more sweet. Although I'm I don't know. I used to think just plain crab was good. And then I was introduced to curried crab, which is also really fucking good.
That sounds great.
And now I can't decide which I like better. And now I just want fucking crab.
Kat just wants crabs. You heard it, boys.
Oh, God.
All right, Leo.
Okay,
Keep going.
go on, Leo.
All right, let's finish this up.
Yeah.
Diago, he kind of gets a lot of bad news all at once.
Daigo, not Diago.
Daigo. Damn it. First, they haven't had rain for like 2 months, and the crops are failing, of course. And then, like, the neighboring kingdom has been slowly building their army at its border. He then goes to, like, the Hell Hall, as they call it, to find, like, more of the demon statues split. And, like, he demands they tell him what is the fuck is going on. And then, like, they shoot in, like, this beam of light. And it has, like, a neat effect where it's, like, hitting the floor and, like, kind of sparking on it.
Yeah.
But then this beam of light, he gets a vision of, like, Hyakimaru. And he sees him just, like, kind of standing there. And he's like, shit, he's fucking alive. And then Tahoramaru, is that right?
Yeah, Tahomaru.
Mm-hmm.
Tahoramaru, he's up to something at this point. We don't know yet. And he tells his, like, two subordinates not to let his family know what he is up to. And his two subordinates, is one male and one female?
Yeah, Mutsu and Hyogo.
Okay.
They're very obedient.
They are.
Because later on they say brothers, but that could just be referring to, like, the
Yeah,
society.
I think Mutsu is
part of-
female, but, you know, given Dororo, I'm not sure about anything anymore.
I don't know. Let's ask our expert cat.
Oh no, you're not getting. I feel like she looks female, but I just don't fucking know.
Yeah, they call
Yeah,
themselves
so-
brothers, but that just might be like a brotherhood of the sword or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's kind of what I was thinking when they said that. So there's just this super quick scene, which it's Hyakimaru defeating, like, just some random beast. He gets blood on himself, and then Dororo's like, shit, I gotta wash this. He's washing this, so Hyakimaru's naked. But then he sees he has a talisman, which has, like, a family crest on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she specifically says, oh, is that a family crest? And you're just like, okay, I know exactly where this is going. We immediately go back to Torimaru, who had the guy that Diago chose to search for the baby.
Yeah.
And the midwife searching for them, and they drugged him with, like, a true serum. He asked, like, you know, what was the special order from my father? And then he asked, why is he searching for a baby from 16 years ago? He's pretty sure there's a connection between his mother worshiping the
baby statue, like the headless,
statue. Yes, is what he calls it. He doesn't get an answer to the last question because he bites his tongue, like, and he can't say anymore. So then he goes straight to his father to ask why he's searching for the baby. Diago is like, fuck you and the horse you literally fucking rode in on, because I ain't telling, bitches.
Mm-hmm.
And then so
snitches get stitches.
And so moody teenage angst Tomaru rides off without his answer. Yeah.
I laughed in between this and the next part. Like, he goes off to this place where he always, like, ran away when he was a little kid.
You're right.
Yeah, and his retainers, like the Mutsu and Hyogo, they follow him, and he's like, "I'm surprised you found me here." And then their response had me laughing so loud because he was like, "They're like, you came here like literally every time you were sad as a kid, and we followed you literally every time." And I was like, they're fed up with this kid's poopy ass a little bit. That was funny. I like that.
So
you're like, well, he's a nice kid, not too bright.
Exactly.
Yeah. So while he's brooding about his father, Tomaru notices a commotion in the village and investigates. The villagers are pleading with the passing soldiers to do something about the monster in the lake. Tomaru says he will defeat the monster and sets out with, like, I think about 4 or 5 boats. And he's got soldiers in them, but he's also got, like, a villager each boat to man it. Mm-hmm. They end up coming across the monster who creates a whirlpool, but they tied their ropes to the trees in the boats. And I really liked how the detail in the rope was, because they put multiple loops. So as soon as the monster started pulling them in, they could immediately loop it onto, like, the, it wouldn't be the mast. It would be the front part of the ship to immediately hold them right there. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of cool. There's a lot of detail in here, but then there's a big one that they miss at the end, which I caught easily. So that was really cool. And the whirlpool is not working for this monster. So the monster he turns out to be a giant crab. He uses his pincers. He like picks up one guy. Did he eat him or did he barely manage to escape? I don't remember.
I think he got that guy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it does. It's not important, but and so apparently fighting monsters or just fighting in general comes naturally to this family because like Toimaru cuts off one of like the pincers, like he's just a fucking badass, just like Hyakimaru is.
I guess all that sword training has actually paid off a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like his male bodyguard just bashes away at the guy with like, he's got this club thing. I tried to look at that briefly. I don't know the exact name of this weapon.
Yeah, I don't know what it was either.
I think I've seen it before. I don't know how legit it is. And like the female bodyguard's like, she's shooting arrows and stuff. And then they eventually cause the monster to retreat back in the water, but it hasn't completely given up yet.
It's a shame because it was actually a pretty smart plan that they had, like to drain the pond and like get it on dry land and everything.
Okay, yeah. I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that comes after this part because this is where he like sinks back in the water and like pokes holes.
Yeah, so like
I thought that we already got, okay.
So like the monsters like starts poking holes in the boats. And they're like, shit, we gotta get out of here before he does this. So they retreat back to land. They grab their ropes and pull themselves back. And so he goes back up to his quote thinking cliff, or brooding cliff,
emo
whatever
cliff.
you want to call it.
His
The emo cliff.
cliff.
And up there, like he asks his like male bodyguard to hold him up, and he notices. So there's one large central lake, like humongous. But it's got like smaller pond, lakeish lakes around it. He connects one that's right up against the lake and then another one that is right behind it. So he creates channels between the lake, the first pond, and the second pond. He then drains, he sets up gates between these also. He then drains the second pond and lures the monster in the first pond and then slams that gate shut. And then opens the other gate, which drains it into the second and drains it completely out. So now he has them on, I say dry land, but it's not dry land. And basically they start off, they're fucking destroying this guy. But he's fairly smart. So he starts picking up boulders and throwing them at that gate to the lake. He does eventually break it. And like the water rushes in. And like you see, what's his name?
Hyogo, the male bodyguard.
Hyogo, the male bodyguard. He's like superhuman. He's throwing dudes up on shore one armed.
That was so ridiculous. Like there's a whirlpool of water.
Better get these guys up here. They're gonna drown. Like here
so
we go.
insane.
Yeah, and then he like eventually gets caught in the demon's mouth, but like he's holding it open. He's super strong.
There's no way, but yeah.
Yeah, and then like Hyakimaru jumps in to save him, and then just out of nowhere, not Dororo, Hyakimaru, jumps in to save him, and then like slices it open and kills the thing, and then like after that, they're like, "Who are you?" And then that's just kind of where the episode ends. But
they kind of stare at each other awkwardly for a minute. It's very
dramatically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Tohoimaru has an idea who this guy is. So that's kind of thing.
Yeah, because he's like just a close up of the sword arms and everything.
They also do a shot where they look at Hyakimaru's pendant again, and then immediately go to Daigo. And you see the exact same symbol on this robe.
Yep.
So like we knew, but it's just like a reconfirmation. But there's everything in here makes so much sense except for one thing, which I know from personal experience. So they drain a pond, and I actually grew up right next to I guess it's a lake. But at one point they had to drain it to install a new spillway. And when they
mean a swale or
a spillway? So like when the lake rises to a certain point, it overflows. Like so, they used to have it was just this really rough made concrete low point.
Yes, it's a swale. That's a swale.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that term, but that's interesting.
I had a swale in my backyard growing up.
Yeah, it's just a low point that flowed into a creek once the lake got to a certain height.
Yeah, you could get down there on your bare feet and just crawl in there and get crawdads out there. All right.
No, this was above ground.
Oh, okay. So it's a little different.
This was a spillway. This was above ground, and I remember it because the water was usually flowing. It would get mossy, and I would surf on it with my feet.
Oh, nice.
For fun. So they like kind of dam that part up, and then they cut away in like the dam itself, which was just like a regular earth dam. And what they did is they installed a I think this is what you're thinking about, a underground concrete tunnel, and then a large concrete tower in the middle of the lake. So while it was drained, me and my younger brother, we walked around it. Well, you could walk around the edge, but every few feet in, it would become super muddy. And like just crazy muddy. I'm talking like I literally was looking in a little bit, and from one step to the other, and these were cautious steps, from one step to the other, I sunk immediately down to my knee.
Yeah.
And lost the boot I had. I walked back home with one boot on.
Damn. So basically, the crab probably would have been fine, but they would have been fucked.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like they're landing out. I'm like, nah, they're sunk up to the goddamn waist. There's no way they could do this. Is immediately what it made me think of. But I thought it was kind of funny.
That's funny, yeah.
It was a smart idea, but you're right. In reality, that wouldn't have been.
That's what would have happened.
It was like 100% correct until the moment the two guys and then eventually some of the other guys jumped in, because and it's interesting because the edges were drier, but you gotta think it's the lake and ponds are a bowl,
right?
So the rest of the water just drains inwards as it slowly dries.
Well, the scene would not have been as cool if Tahumara was like flailing around like waist deep in mud.
No, but that was the thing. I love the attention, the detail they gave to the ropes on the boats, and then just building that scenario they were in, and then just dropping it like that. I was like, Argh! You guys, I was like, you guys were so fucking nailing it until that
you didn't
one
think about
point.
that. Well, they could have even just done something else to just a little detail to be like, this way they won't sink in the mud or something.
Well, up to that point, they probably didn't really think about that. And everybody's probably, most people waded into a pond or a lake. You sink a little, but not a lot.
Right.
But
man,
when it's drained and you get into the deeper portions, it's not even quicksand. It's just like you're just walking and then your leg just goes swoop, and next thing you know, there's mud on your upper thigh, and the suction is insane, which is like I was trying and finally got my goddamn leg out.
So you almost died in a sinkhole.
I didn't even try to get my boot. I knew there was no way I could stick my arm in there, grab it, and actually have the physical strength to pull it out. You gotta think my thighs are stronger than my upper body. There's no way I was pulling it out from what it took to get my leg out. So something from a unique experience. I know that wouldn't have been feasible.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. That's to think about.
Sorry. Not to go on a tangent, but one of the cool things was, a lake strained all the shit you see on the inside. I saw, I think 2 boats, a bunch of dead trees, more than often than not, a bunch of logs, and I actually saw a beaver den.
Oh, wow.
Underneath, which was cool. So
That's crazy.
Other than that, so much goddamn pollution. There were so many goddamn cans of Pepsi from 1980.
Fucking Indiana.
There are a lot of lakes and stuff in Indiana where both Leo and I live that they tell you not to get in, even though they let you kayak on it, because they're like, you could get a rash. You could legit don't go in there. And everyone does it anyway.
Oh my god.
Like there are years where they're like, there's staph infection in the lake. Don't go in.
Oh, this is the same lake that like had a dock that was at a 50-degree decline that we would ride our bikes down into the lake.
Oh, damn. That sounds like such a bad idea. Why would you ever be like, let's ride our bikes
because I was like 14.
into the lake?
I don't give a shit.
Well, okay, so like, it's not as... It's about the level of stupid that I used to go to the very top of high hills when I was young and be like, I'm going to speed down this on my bike. And I did that. And then one day there was...
I don't even want to tell you the ramps I used to build during winter and sled off of on that goddamn dam. I legit one time went off one of them on a snowboard and I may have fucked up something in my back.
Yeah. One time when I went down a hill like that on my bike, I didn't realize until I was halfway down the hill, there's a car parked at the end of the hill. I couldn't fucking stop. Ran right into it with my bike. Flipped over. Landed on top of the car. That was not good.
Holy shit.
Bcom, reel us in. We're not even talking about anime.
I know. I was like, I need to get going.
Like,
I actually have a thing to say about Dororo. I've been waiting for like 10
good
minutes.
times in Hickville, USA.
So one thing I really liked about this episode is that Tahomaru, they took the time to actually make him like a person, like where he's not just. He, like, a big part of his character up to now has been, like, trying to find the approval of his father. We get that. But also he has his own code of honor. Like, when he comes across that village, he wants to help them. Like, he yells at his father's soldiers for saying, like, oh, we should just leave these people to be attacked by this monster. He's like, no, I'm going to, like, do what I can to take care of this. On the flip side of that, he also believes that since he's Daigo's son, that he's kind of, like, I don't know, like divinely chosen to be this hero.
He's spoiled.
I think that's going to get him in trouble because he's like, oh, I'm Daigo's son. Look at the land that's been filled with the rice paddies are full and like everybody's happy. And it's like he doesn't know his father has made a deal with the devil to bring that about.
You are right. There was very good character development with all that.
So I was very happy with that. And I liked Mutsu and Hyogo as well. And so I genuinely like Tahomaru as a person now, even though I think I see how his downfall might come about in a later episode.
Oh, yeah. Now that they've got us to like him slightly, now it's time for him to die. That's the way it goes.
Oh, no.
All right, before we start talking about fucking Indiana anymore, we gotta end this episode.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening to hours of talk about mud and puns. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube to get any updates on the new podcasts or videos. You can also find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. And follow us on Twitter at Nerdom and other for updates on the podcast coming out. Also, come hang out with us on Discord. There's a link in the description if you want to join us and see pictures of Cat covered in tomatoes.
Eventually.
Or Promised Neverland memes.
And with that, we will see you next time. See ya.
Yeah, bye.
Later.